What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Kick is up, and it is long enough, and it is good. Adam Vinatieri, at age 45, drills one from 57 yards out.
Was kept alive by Oladipo, and Sabonis with a left hand.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Show of hands here. How many actually did stay up to watch the game in its entirety last night? I know Kyle over there did because he had to run the show back here. But, man, that was brutal. You kind of saw it. I'll be honest with you. I certainly expected a lot more. I think everybody out there should expect a lot more. As much as I whined and cried yesterday about that being just an absolute dreadful schedule back-to-back from Denver to Utah, from a Sunday night to a Monday night, you got to expect more than that. I mean, that was pretty bad yesterday. Of all the games we have watched this year, outside of maybe the first three, and even though I think a lot of us expected the Pacers to lose yesterday, but of all the games that we have watched, disappointment level-wise, that was right there with it. And I put that right there with Miami a couple of weeks ago. Here. I mean, the first three, they're just getting used to one another. It was discombobulated. The only saving grace, I think, if you truly want to defend last night, was the simple fact is we kind of thought that was coming. I just thought that they would show up and show out a little bit more than they did against Utah. Because Utah wasn't that great either. I mean, Donovan Mitchell got hot. Aaron Holiday made him mad, and that wasn't good for Aaron Holiday. But they turned the ball over, 20-plus times last night? I mean, normally you turn it over that much if you're a home team. Normally that happens, and you end up losing. I mean, you're the one that's going to probably either lose it or at the very least you're going to have to battle to win it. And, I mean, hell, they won it going away. Getting their starters out there with under 3 to go. I think Gobert was the last one who had a double-double last night. I mentioned Donovan Mitchell had a big game. And for the Pacers, I mean, Miles had 12, still didn't play well. Aaron Holiday had 12, didn't play well. But the problem was everybody else played awful. I mean, from top to bottom, couldn't hit a shot. The McDermott we saw the game before in Denver wasn't anywhere near what we saw last night. Same goes with Malcolm Brogdon. And again, you look at Utah, and that wasn't one of their best nights either. Yeah, for a team that has been arguably as hot as anybody. That was not one of their best nights either. So that's one of those where you just turn the page, I'm assuming, right? You just turn the page. But it was ugly. Basically from start to finish. Even though you felt, at least in the first half, these guys were fighting through it, but you knew at some point, or at least you expected the bottom to fall through. Maybe not to that level in which it did, but it was ugly. If you guys want to discuss, we can at 239-1070. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. Next up tomorrow night in Phoenix. The Suns beat San Antonio last night. Check that. I'm sorry, lost by 2 to San Antonio. Played well against San Antonio. Devin Booker had 37. Ayton had 27 and 12. They're big man. They beat Boston, I think, early in the week or late last week. So they're not good, but they're no joke. Golden State, who's going to be 4th on the list of 5 out west, they're bad this season, but they have been competitive recently. They got a 6-1 dropped on their head last night by Damian Lillard, if anybody was watching that 129-124 game. 61-10 for Damian Lillard. And then you close out with that Portland team that I'm talking about right here. Yeah, I mean, last night, I'm not persuaded at all. It was bad, though. It was bad for many a reason. Maybe it's cushioned a little bit because you expected it to be incredibly tough. I just thought you were going to get a lot more fight, in particular the second half, than he ended up getting there. The only fight that you saw was Donovan Mitchell had to fight. I mean, they're losing defensively. I mean, you think anybody on that team, like Boyan can shoot? Joe Ingles can shoot? I mean, late clock situations, they just completely lose these guys, and they get wide open looks. For those guys, those are layups. That can't happen. There were a couple of late clock situations. I think one was an inbounds play where you're just talking about a simple inbounds pass, ball screen, three-point shot, make. Yeah, that's pretty ugly. So, Pacer fans, if you want to discuss it, we can at 239-1070. Email address is JMV at 1070thefan.com. On Twitter at JMV1070. Thank you for joining us on this particular Tuesday. We got a lot of stuff to give away. I shall explain in just a bit. That's why you got to hang tight for the next 3+ hours. Guest lists include today Rakestraw, 5 o'clock hour, Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network. He joins us coming up at 4:30. I'm very happy. Friend of the show, Drew Storen. You guys seen this? Drew Storen, who, if you remember a year ago, he signed a minor league deal with the Royals trying to work back from Tommy John. And he never found his velocity. I think went back to extended spring training a year ago with Kansas City, and then ultimately was released. He went to Seattle, worked on it this entire offseason. He's been working out here locally with Tucker Barnhart, trying to regain velocity and pitching strength. He was signed today by the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll see where this goes, but that is good for Drew. Drew is a great kid who's no longer a kid. But great dude. I'm very happy for him. We're going to talk with Drew Storen coming up at 4 o'clock. Plus, dude, he's really, really smart. We'll talk about this whole Astros thing with him. See if these guys have ever beat on any trash cans while he's pitching. But we are happy for Drew Storen, who joins us coming up at 4. At some point, we're going to see if we can work in Eddie Gill. I think these guys are in Phoenix right now having some fun outdoors, and I don't blame them. See if Eddie Gill, the Pacer Television Network, former Pacer, can join us a little bit later on. And, yeah, from what I gather up here, we're going till 6:30 tonight, right? Or thereabouts. So we got anything goes, which is normally incredibly dangerous. College hoopage later on tonight. Number 22, Illinois and Purdue. That's a 7 o'clock tip from Mackey and West Lafayette and Butler. This is kind of the situation we talked about last week with Seton Hall. You lose that game, and then you could have it rough. They lost that game at home, and to this point, they've had it rough. All the way up to the 5th ranking of the nation, and then since that Seton Hall game, they've dropped like a rock. And DePaul put it to them. I mean, put it to them on Saturday. Villanova's gotten a lot better. This is going to be a mammothly difficult game for the Butler Bulldogs coming up later on tonight. Their pregame coverage with Mark and Nick begins here at 6:30. That tip from Philly is coming your way at 7 o'clock later on tonight. Man, yeah, you just look back. And listen, give credit where credit is due. I mean, Seton Hall was really good down the stretch last week. That was just one of those games where it kind of sets you up for the foreseeable future. And for Butler, it just hasn't been good. They've not been able to grind it. In some respects, Seton Hall-wise, they were out-grinded. How should I put that? Out-ground. And, yeah, DePaul just lit them up. So you got Butler, you got Villanova coming up later on tonight as well. All right, Super Bowl, I know we got a week. I said this yesterday, too. I think this is a conversation because of the matchups between the 49ers and the Chiefs that just won't necessarily, even if you don't have any that interest, you got maybe an out-of-market lack of interest, it still will maintain a little bit because this is a hell of a matchup. I mean, offensively and defensively, it's not going to get much better than that. And see who's going to be able to do what has pushed them to this point. You know, we talked to Rick Vincere yesterday about both sides of the football in this game. I mean, Chiefs defensively, they're going to be able to stop the running game. Not even so much about Jimmy Garoppolo as it is about the running game. It's kind of funny. The quarterback position, other than the quarterback's looks in San Francisco, is like an afterthought. Whereas Most other places around the NFL, it's front burner, and if you don't have one that's going to produce, then you're screwed. I mean, don't you guys recollect the conversation or 90 we've had here about that? And still will have here, and probably will have that here coming up in the next 5 minutes. Because it never goes away. It's kind of funny. The quarterback, for the most part, it is the most opinionated, most highly critical, most important position in professional sports. Any argument there? The most important position in professional sports on the field is the quarterback, right? The NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I'd say it's hard to argue that. I'd agree.
And normally it's all about if you don't have a good one, then you're not very good. And not to say that Jimmy Garoppolo is not good, but he is not counted on as you would normally count on a quarterback. I mean, he's not even a fourth counted on from what we have seen in this postseason run, as we've seen what Patrick Mahomes represents in that Chiefs offense. Normally it's this. And we saw this year here, didn't we? Normally it is you don't talk about just how invested you should be, just how important it is, how colossally important it is to win games, to run the football. You don't talk about it really until you're actually doing it. Or if you're talking about it, it may be second, third, fourth, fifth on the list because it always starts with the quarterback. And I'll maintain, you go to San Francisco and take a look at the Super Bowl, and it's not so much about, well, what are they going to do with Garoppolo? It's what are they going to do with the running game? What are they going to do with the offensive line? Because remember, earlier this season especially, and we saw that against the Colts, the Chiefs are carved up by running games. So how are they going to handle that running game? How are they going to handle the Frisco offensive line? I mean, that could be 1, 2, and 3 right there. And 4 could be, all right, and then how they're going to handle the defensive line on the other end. I mean, hell, you probably don't even get to San Francisco talking about the quarterback and what the quarterback represents until maybe the fifth conversation, which is great if you're in it. I mean, it is a great place to be, a great spot to be if you're in it, and you don't necessarily have to lean on it. But if you feel that you do and you're not winning and you're not in a Super Bowl, you're not going to the postseason, it is an endless criticism and something that has to change. And that's exactly what we're looking at around here. I think most of you remember we had talked about the Colts wanted to be a top 5 offensive line or a top 5 running game. They ended up top 10. And I'm sure that they would take a top 10. But you don't normally think about your running greatness over a quarterback until you're actually where San Francisco is right now, or at least deeply rooted into the postseason. I mean, hell, the hats are flying around here, run the damn ball. And then as it turned out, I mean, you could run the ball, but you also needed to throw it. Didn't work out. We needed hats around here to say, can you throw the damn football accurately? Don't throw the damn football 5 feet over the receiver's head. When you throw the damn football, make sure the receiver maybe gets an inch or 2 of separation. Why am I throwing the damn football to the 7th place wide receiver on the depth chart? I mean, just a variety of things. Man, running the football and playing D is a nice thing when you're where Frisco is right now. But it's a great thing to talk about. Everybody wants to talk about it, but we live in the land of QBs. Most people are not fortunate enough to have that conversation. The Niners right now are. We'll see if they maintain that coming up a week from Sunday. And we'll see if the offensive line and the running game, basically diffuses any type of criticism or wonder that you might have regarding Jimmy Garoppolo's credibility to throw the football under pressure. I mean, hell, he didn't even need to. That's kind of how it felt when this team started 5-2. I mean, you run the football. That game against Kansas City didn't really need it. Made a play here or there. Just don't make mistakes. Just don't make mistakes. Yeah, most teams around the NFL do not have that particular luxury. Most are talking about the quarterback position. And by the way, we'll continue to do that until free agency, until the draft. It is never going to stop. I can tell you this. I'll go into a night, I'll go home, Twitter feed, email, quarterback. Overnight, Twitter feed, email, Miles Turner, quarterback. The way that it is one of the hot buttons and is going to maintain around here. It's kind of funny. I was thinking about putting this up as the Connecticut Water question of the day because I don't think I have yet. Quarterback needs here addressed. Free agency, draft, or take what you got. That's like an A, B, or C multiple choice right there. Free agency, draft, or stay. I may have to put that up there just a second, too. I think I know what most of you will say, though. We can talk about that, too. Super Bowl, if you guys want to dive into that, we certainly can. Kansas City now going to be a mainstay for the foreseeable future in the AFC? Is that going to be the blueprint in which everybody in the AFC will have to match up with now? That's it? I mean, listen, there is no doubt that's the way that it looks right now. But we do know this. Circumstances beyond the control of the Brett Veaches, the Andy Reids, the Chris Ballards, the Frank Reichs also play a significant role. So I'll sit here and tell you that right now. Football is always interesting. I mean, you got to play or decide or making a call or make an opinion on what's actually going on right now. It's honestly tough. I mean, even with a team that is seemingly loaded up like Kansas City, to make any huge projections. I mean, that's the expectation. That's the expectation with a quarterback that is across the board, state of the art. Listen, Lamar Jackson's going to win the MVP. But, given how they dropped out of the postseason, I think if you were going to revote that right now, I think most people, again, going back to the start of the season when Mahomes was injured, when he had to sit, getting through that, most people would probably go since then the Mahomes route, especially considering this team in 2 games are down big. 2 games at home down big. And then there's always that specter of trying to battle a team that can consistently come back as easy as you want, but make it tough on you if they're playing with a lead. They just add to that. It's just they make scoring look so effortless. So you're going to ask me that right now. I'd say absolutely right now, but hell, I don't know. You don't know how it's going to look next year. I mean, we know how it looks when Mahomes got dinged up. We saw it. Like, he wasn't anywhere near. After Toure pushed an offensive lineman, I think it was Irving, at the time when he pushed him into Mahomes, it wasn't anywhere near what he has been. I mean, there was going to be no spin move, sideline, spin move, run, all the way before the half, touchdown. There's going to be no run like that back in late September, early October. We can discuss. Now, we'll do that coming up a little bit later on, too. As I mentioned, Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network, Purdue and Illinois, 4:30 for Rob. Rakestraw on the 5 o'clock hour. Our friend Drew Storen, who signed a deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll talk to Drew about that and what has been a long road for him. And I'm excited for him. And we've heard stories. I've heard from Tucker on how he looks. So Drew Storen at 4, and Eddie Gill is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. And to double back, I mean, maybe the worst game of the season for the Pacers, but it wasn't the worst that I saw. The worst that I saw was Miami. The worst that I've seen out of this team were basically the first 3, a couple of Detroits and a Cleveland. Man. You're setting me up for failure right here, aren't you? I see you. Yeah, last night I expected them to lose, but I didn't expect them to look like that. And I didn't expect them to look like that. Utah's good, but Utah turned the ball. Utah wasn't that great at home last night. They were just that great against what turned out to be last night a crapwater Pacer team. That's exactly how they looked. I mean, it wasn't like Utah was great. I mean, listen, Donovan Mitchell got some inspiration from Aaron Holiday, and Aaron Holiday probably should not do that in the future. It'd be all right, unless he's going to be able to pay back. I mean, half the inspiration in scoring Donovan Mitchell had is once Aaron Holiday went to the bench. And then Mitchell went after his brother. I think he went after the whole damn family. But they weren't anything great last night. I will say this. With a really good effort from a good team, we can say Utah was beatable last night at home. I mean, they made themselves with turnovers. They made themselves beatable. But the Pacers weren't in anybody's category last night. Just weren't. All right, quick break, and we'll come back. If you're on hold, I'll get to you. Bottom of the hour, Eddie Gill of the Pacer Television Network joins us. Drew Storen, now a member of the Philadelphia Phillies organization. Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network. Greg Rakestraw coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. And I believe I got an Anything Goes for you coming up at 6 o'clock. Nickelback, Yacht Rock Review, not together. Daryl Hall, John Oates, and I didn't know this until today. Daryl Hall, John Oates, and Squeeze. I want to go see Squeeze. Hello? Got all that to give away courtesy of our friends at Live Nation that we love so much. Appreciate it, too. So we got a lot to get to at 239-1070. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. On Twitter at jmv1070. If you guys are enjoying my burger up there at Ford's Garage, I think one of these days they need to have us up there, I think. Every day. Well, that's a great advertising ploy from them. I mean, every day you guys are having it. I appreciate you. I haven't had a bad response yet. My man Greg in Carmel said that he got it, and it was like overwhelming. It was a lot of burger. But I'm a lot of man, so it makes sense. A lot of burger, a lot of man. So shout out to Shane who had that today. A little bit of burger, a little bit of brisket, I think, on top of it. A lot of burger, a lot of man. All right, quick one. Your calls, Eddie Gill, and your chance to win some stuff. Sit tight.
Here's what's happening with the Fan.
Kick off the month of May at Rev, presented by Fifth Third Bank, as it returns to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Saturday, May 2nd. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours before they're gone at revindy.org. Come out to see JMV in Connecticut as he broadcasts live from the Indy Home Show. Catch JMV from 3 until 6 at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Free samples from Heaven Hill, and you can schedule a free water test at the Connecticut booth.
For more info, click on 1075thefan.com.
Get ready for even more excitement and winning at Central Indiana's hottest entertainment destinations. Live table games are now here at Harrah's Hoosier Park and Indiana Grand Racing and Casino. It's what you've been waiting for. Live blackjack, craps, roulette, baccarat, 3-card poker, and Mississippi stud. Add in the play-by-play action of sports betting and the newest and hottest slots. 2020 will be the biggest year of winning yet. Join us at Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson and Indiana Grand in Shelbyville. Your favorite gaming, racing, dining, and entertainment destinations. For more info, visit harrahshoosierpark.com or indianagrand.com.
Must be 18 or older to wager on horse racing at racetracks and 21 or older to gamble at sports books and casinos. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Please drink responsibly.
With more than 1,000 people evacuated from the building while it undergoes black mold removal and
turn that off.
$15 million in repairs. Officials
turn it off. Yeah. Yeah, I saw it. Well, you hired the contractor. You tell me what happened. So you're saying we cut corners?
Imagine if patients in your hospital were left out in the cold because somewhere someone cut corners. Building owners and customers are often kept in the dark about the risks of poorly installed mechanical insulation. The Heat and Frost Insulators Local 18 Code of Workmanship doesn't allow anything below specification. The Insulation Contractors Association of Indianapolis ensures your job is done right. Every project, every time. Learn more at insulators18.org. The Brothers and Sisters of Energy Efficiency, insulating you from escalating costs.
We are Local 18!
Busy schedule? Don't sweat it. Does your gym really have everything you're looking for? The Monon Community Center has all you need for a full-body workout, including a fitness center with state-of-the-art equipment, free weights, indoor track, indoor lap pool, and group fitness classes, including boot camp and 30-minute express classes. When working out is this easy, there are no excuses. Memberships are just $42 per month. One price, one place, all access. Purchase now at CarmelClayParks.com.
Hey, it's JMV and Love Heating and Air celebrating their 100th anniversary. So let's help them celebrate. Love will be offering a 92% high-efficiency gas furnace installed for just $2,100. All right? Gas furnace installed high efficiency, $2,100. Complete. And this is a limited time offer, so make sure you get in there while supplies last. Prices includes equipment, materials, and labor. Love-HVAC.com for more info now.
George Faber here, owner of B Window. Are you a subcontractor and tired of dealing with taxes, regulations, and going to the dump? Why not call us and let us show you how, as an employee, you can have your own new truck, trailer, and gas and make $100,000 a year like many of our guys do now. We work our crews every day and have a huge backlog for the winter. Call right now, 317-283-8522, or go to bwindow.com.
That's Faber's B-Window. Trust me.
Hi, it's Indy 500 champ Tony Kanaan here with Chuck Jones from BUSS Chevy. You know I call Indy home, so I need to tell everyone about a great Silverado for the Indiana weather.
That's awesome, TK. Tell us, what's your favorite part?
I love the way that the truck drives in the snow.
Yep, and you never have winter in a Silverado. The remote start automatically turns on the heated seat and the heated steering wheel. Come test drive one.
So find your roads to BUSS Chevy or BUSSChevy.com.
At BUSS Chevy, get your Silverado for $229 a month.
And don't forget to ask for the TK deal.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires today for no credit needed financing and the lowest price on every tire every day. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Kevin Bowen, in the next decade, the AFC title is going to go through Kansas City to some extent. If you're the Indianapolis Colts, how do you start putting your team together?
You got to find you a quarterback that can do some things you can't teach. Their ability to score points in the blink of an eye speaks for itself. I think when you look at their blueprint, that's what they really have.
The Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe. Weekday mornings, 7 till 10. Only on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries.
It's quite pungent. It stings the nostrils.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Drew Starr, Rob Blackman, Gregor Extra. Anything goes. Eddie Gill's going to join us coming up in a couple of minutes. JMV. Hey, thank you. I'm an Indiana guy. Grew up in Indiana. Went to IU. I'd rather listen to you than some national guy. I don't know if they're head up their rear end. I live in Iowa now, but I listen to you. Thanks for keeping it local and real. I appreciate you, Steve. Shout out to Iowa. Thanks for listening up there. Eddie Gill in a second. Josh is at 239-1070 right now. Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, people in Indianapolis don't seem to be happy with just about anything. For some reason, they're complaining about Turner and a quarterback. I wonder which one's more important to them because neither one of them is really a problem.
The quarterback is much more important to them. I would guess. Yes.
Well, neither one of them is a problem. If he had some receivers, maybe he could complete some throws.
Yeah, you might end up being right about that, Josh. I mean, we'll save the tape for you. You might end up being right. It doesn't look that way right now, but maybe you're accurate. Anything else?
Nope. Just have a good one.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Josh. JMV, I'm getting so tired of the Miles Turner bashing. See, I'm trying to stay away from any of it here. So staying away. 12-5. If you're going to bash some folks last night, that whole damn Guys, look at this. Look at the box score of that mess. I'm staying away from it. Trying to stay away. The advice I would give out, the hiatus from social media would be still a good thing. Still a good thing. But nobody listens to me. Except you guys. I appreciate it, too. Thanks. See, Jeff says, new decade, same story. Thank God the Pacers playing in the East. Well, hold on a minute. The East has been pretty good, too. I mean, compare it top to bottom with the West. It's been good this year. Didn't I ask that question the other day? East compared to the West? I mean, look at it from top to bottom right now. I'll get back to you in a second. If you're on hold, I'll get to you. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he's been hiking hills and canyons in the state of Arizona in preparation for the Suns in that Game 3 of a 5-game Western road swing for the Pacers tomorrow night from Pacer TV. Eddie Gill joins us. Before we get started here on the Pacers from last night, I'm curious, do you think that the East and the West, because if you look at them top to bottom, they look to me as competitive on both sides as we have seen East and West being in a long time. Would you buy that?
Hey, JMV, before you get into that, you would really love to know where myself, Chris Denary, Mark Boyle, Jamie Burns, Ken Softman, and Max Line are right now.
Where are you? Where are you guys?
We're headed down Cholla Trail at Camelback Mountain, and it's not looking good right now for the crew. Let me just tell you, go to Chris Denary's Twitter. But anyway, I'll answer your question.
Hey, well, hold on a second though. Who gets stung by a scorpion first in this group?
According to Max Line whoever is the slowest one. But as of right now, we haven't seen one yet. But
okay,
I can assure you, I'm headed literally down the side of a mountain with my phone on speed.
That's awesome.
We'll see how this goes.
Well, I mean, this is going to be the most entertaining Eddie Gill interview in the history of the show right here. We're very, very excited for that, too. Now, listen, if anybody spots a scorpion or anybody sees a rattlesnake, maybe a gopher or something, you let me know, okay?
I got you. Yeah, we'll stop and talk about that.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Anyway, tell me again about the East and West.
No. Do you think that the East and the West so far this season is as close as it has been? Because it's been the West for such a long period of time that's been the superior, superior conference out West. But the East looks like to me that they're similar when you match up teams from top to bottom. Yes, no?
Yeah, no, I agree. I would say top probably 6 or 7 teams on each side are pretty comparable in terms of what they've been able to do. I think the West, they're down, at least for this season anyway.
Well, and also they have the possibilities to have the more super teams up top. I don't think there's any question. Whereas you have Milwaukee and then you have everybody else. I mean, the Lakers took a beating last night, but the Lakers will be there. The Clippers will be there. So, I mean, there you can make, I think, Denver, when healthy, should be there, a team the Pacers beat the other night. You know, Eddie Gill joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I expected the Pacers to lose last night. It's a really tough spot in the schedule. Back-to-backs in Denver and Utah on a Sunday and a Monday night. But really, Utah didn't play that great last night, but the Pacers were awful. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, they struggled, especially turning the ball over. I thought scored the ball well, especially early on. Field goal percentage was solid throughout that the first part of that game, but just turned the ball over. And then they were able to force some turnovers for the Utah Jazz, but the inability to create some easy baskets off the turnovers was really the start of their downfall early on in that game, and then it just lasted throughout the game. And then Utah Jazz, first of all, that's a good team. That's a really good team, so you got to give them some credit. But, the Pacers just struggled, especially getting into that second half, too.
Yeah, you got to tell Aaron Holiday, give him some professional advice because you've been there. Maybe not fire up the team's best player. Maybe not like that again.
Yeah, that was the game was pretty much in hand when that happened. but it didn't help because Donovan Mitchell ran off about 8 straight points after they got into it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they were already in front, but you talk about sticking a nail in it like that. And I just think, to me, that serves a purpose because he's going to be matched up against some dudes that if you get mouthy are going to want to come back at him. And that probably, to me, serves as purpose of growing, not just from last night, but moving forward, too, for Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things is like, hey, don't poke the bear, right? That kind of thing. When a guy's just kind of going all about his business and just cruising along, you don't want to do anything to ignite his fire. But it's a fine line. You also got to have some self-belief in what you do and what you bring to the table. So yeah, athletes just aren't built that way. If you've gotten to that level, it's for a certain reason. So Aaron himself has great belief in what he's able to do. So you don't want to pull the reins off of a guy's competitive spirit.
So Eddie Gill on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Ken just sent me a picture of you guys. You're not even walking on the trail. You're like climbing down the side of the mountain here.
Oh, there is not a trail. For some reason, they have the word trail out here. They use that word is being used very, very loosely.
I'm going to tweet this out because this looks dangerous for you doing an interview with me right now. Doing this. This doesn't look like a smart play by you.
I sent him a text with pictures.
Did you? Tweet out me on the phone. I'm talking to Chris Denary right now.
Sure.
So send a picture. He's going to take a picture of me talking to you, and he'll tweet this out. It'll show you what we're dealing with right now.
Ken Softman sent a picture on Twitter, and you I don't know. You're climbing down the side of the mountain. Daenerys being really careful, and Boyle looks like he's taking a crap up there at the top.
Exactly. Yeah. We are in the elements right now. This is something that can be a great story at the end, or it can go bad in a hurry. But we're supposed to be we went up the more, I guess, strenuous trail. Oh, and now we're going down the Chola. What's it called, JB? Choya Trail. But
okay.
Anyway, it's pretty special.
Yeah, it looks dangerous from this picture. I just retweeted it. It looks dangerous for you to be doing this phone interview with me while trying to walk down this mountain.
It is. Well, fortunately, I got these headphones in my ears, and we're as we go down the mountain talking trash to each other anyway. So, I'm talking to you instead of them now.
It's Eddie Gill on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So we raised the bar on that 5-game Western Road swing with that win in Denver. At least the fans did, and we talked it up. It'd be really bad if they backpedal on this. What type of team do you think we're going to see out of the Pacers tomorrow night? And then a Phoenix team that last night lost to San Antonio, but certainly has been playing a lot better basketball recently.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot better for sure, and they got two guys who can really get it done, in Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. Devin Booker is the guy who can score with the best of them. But in terms of what the Pacers should bring, I think you'll see a motivated team. I think they want a positive result out of this entire road trip. Got off to a good start against the Nuggets. Obviously, that game against the Jazz last night was a tough one. It was going to be tough even if the Pacers are on 5 days rest because how good the Jazz are anyway. But, it's always tough on the road no matter where you are. And, that Phoenix game will be no different. But it's a game that the Pacers have a good chance to win.
No doubt.
As I jump down the mountain.
I'm going to go ahead and I feel bad. I feel bad right now. And listen, this is why Eddie Gill's a good dude, because you wanted to go at 4, and I'm presuming you wanted to go at 4 because this would have been completed by then. Instead, I had to have you go at 3:30, and you're climbing down the side of a mountain. So I really screwed you over here. That's my bad.
No, it's all good. There's a good chance at 4 o'clock we're still going to be on this mountain trying to get down.
Hey, listen, there's some of this picture that are still at the top here. There may be a helicopter rescue in the future for somebody here.
Hey, we tried to flag one down. It was one. How about this? I'll tell you how high we were. There was a helicopter that flew past us. It was lower than we were.
There's going to be a couple of you that may be up there by tomorrow night's game time. So, yes, that's true. That's outstanding.
Exactly right.
Eddie
It's all
Gill
good.
is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I'm going to let him go, and I'm going to let him get down the side of this mountain. Camelback is where they are outside of Phoenix, Arizona. You got the Suns and the Pacers coming up tomorrow night. Of course, you can hear that right here. Pre-game show beginning at 8:30. Tip time is at 9 o'clock. And, of course, they got that on Fox Sports Indiana television-wise as well. Always a pleasure, man. Don't break anything, all right?
No, it's all good. We'll get down and we'll do it again sometime soon. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Eddie. Eddie Gill on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, Kyle, did you see that, man?
Good thing you were talking to
Dude, I'm
a
telling
former
you.
NBAer. You know, he's an athletic guy and not someone
do
like
you see him
Daenerys
on the
who-
side of that rock there, and he's talking to me on the phone.
I mean, it looks pretty straight down.
That can't be safe. And you guys are telling me that there are no scorpions on the mountain there at the base of the mountain. I don't think I've ever seen a scorpion live. I've always wanted to, except the ones that you go in the pet store and you see and you go, whatever. JMV, they make headphones probably better for rock climbing interviews than speakerphone. He said he had earphones in, but he was on the speakerphone. You guys check that out. I retweeted it at JMV 1070. It's everybody from Pacer Radio and Pacer TV climbing down the side of a mountain. That's got to be a Daenerys idea right there, too. Got to be. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Bill on the other side again at JMV 1070. Check out that picture. Somebody is going to need some sort of rescue before this is said and done. Drew Store on top of the hour, signed by the Phillies today, trying to make a comeback, and we're very happy for him. Rob Blackman, Boilermaker, Radio Network, bottom of the 4. Greg Rakestraw on the 5, and anything goes in the 6 o'clock hour. Back with you next.
The big game matchup is set, and you'll want to get in on the action, so check out Let's Parlay presented by Bet Rivers on 1075thefan.com to see how you can make some money.
It's often said that the only sure things in life are death and taxes. But there's definitely a third one, and that's change. Life is full of inevitable changes, and your success and happiness can depend on how you respond to changes you face. I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. In either case, you need the support of a trusted legal partner. Talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on, and that never changes.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
What's my New Year's resolution? I want us to be smart with our budget. We're planning a future together and talking about the ring.
At Shane Company, every dollar you invest goes toward the beauty of your engagement ring and the sparkle of your diamond. We travel the world to hand select the prettiest stones directly at the source. This cuts out middleman markups and allows us to pass the savings on to you. Come in or go online and find an engagement ring style that you love. Then select your center stone from our superior selection of ethically sourced diamonds, rubies, and sapphires.
At Shane Company, all of our stones are natural. Did you know that diamonds were formed in the earth billions of years ago? Each one's as unique as your love story. Visit us today. You'll easily get the best value on a beautiful engagement ring. Now you have a friend in the diamond business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Hey, it's Jeff CarX Central Indiana. You know where you need to take your car, truck, or van if something's going wrong with it right now, too. The Joe Childers Run CarX location, the absolute best for a variety of reasons. The best because, A, the people. I go to Mike at 135 in Greenwood. Jesse and Charlie, awesome with A+ Plus treatment in Castleton. But you know that Joe and the gang over there run the CarX locations, and if you got something going on, mechanically speaking, maybe just kind of the normal maintenance, brakes, tires, that is the place for you. And right now, here's a great deal for you. CarX Best in Brake Special, $99.99. That's a lifetime brake pad per axle guarantee, including a conventional blend oil change, absolutely free. That's a great deal. Get it done right now and tell him I sent you to the absolute best. Shout out to Joe Childers and make it CarX today.
You always wanted a sure thing at Hooters, and now you got it. Indiana sports betting comes to the home of killer wings and the world-famous Hooters girls. Right now, get up to $300 matching bonus just for making your first deposit on BetRivers.com. Only Hooters has live streaming of odds on all the games through Connect TV. $300, wings, Hooters girls, and betting from the comfort of your bar stool. You may not have a chance with a Hooters girl, but you still might go home a winner when you book your sports bets at any Indiana Hooters. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Okay, family announcement. Our smart home is online.
Cool, Dad.
Yeah, smart lights, smart fridge, smart thermostat. The smart speaker plays music or answers questions. Like this. Check it out. Question: what animals besides humans have chins?
Can't find home internet. Super impressive, Dad.
Okay, hold on. Question: can you find the home internet?
Can't find home internet.
Haha, smart house!
Your home is only as smart as your internet. Get fast, reliable internet with AT&T Fiber with speeds of 300 megabits per second, even during peak times. Find out how to bundle with DirecTV for $89.99 a month for a year with 24-month TV and 12-month internet agreements. Limited availability. May not be in your area. See if you qualify at att.com/bundle. Reliability based on network availability. Consistency based on wired connection to gateway. $10 per month internet equipment fee applies. Speeds not guaranteed and vary. Activation, early termination, internet equipment non-return, and other charges and restrictions apply. Visit att.com/bundle for details.
It's Indiana's best. Andy Moore, Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36. Car, truck, or van, they've got what you want. Online, AndyMooreToyota.com, and then you're going to find the best deals around. And some great folks, too, like Ben Mendoza, that can help you get into the ride of your choice. Don't let anybody tell you that the beginning of a year is not a great time to get a new set of wheels, because now or any time is a great time to do that at Indiana's best. Let Ben and the gang deal with you. It's how you want to be treated. It's a great car buying experience. And you want to go back again and again like you used to, like our grandparents used to one place that you trust the folks like Ben and the gang at Andy Moore Toyota in Avon. Tell them I sent you. 5 miles west of 465 on US 36.
It's time for the January boat show at Just Add Water Boats. This is the time to buy your boat for summer, and you will get the best prices. It gets even better. You can get 90-day same-as-cash financing on all their boats. This is the place for all your boats like Yamaha. Just Add Water Boats has the only test lake in Indy and the largest selection of Yamaha boats in Indiana. It's who I recommend. Hurry in now for the boat extravaganza and get 90 days same as cash online at justaddwaterboats.com.
Looking for a dependable used work truck? Maybe you're a carpenter, handyman, painter, do plumbing, HVAC. Whatever your trade, you'll find the quality work truck you need at Indy Trucks. They're all fully checked out and come with a nice 3,000-mile, 3-month warranty. You'll get top dollar for your trade, and Indy Trucks has easy to get financing too. The other guys don't have that. Indy Trucks at 96th and Keystone, or our new location in Edinburgh off I-65, or IndyTrucks.com. Indy Trucks, we'll be looking for you.
Powered by the Hubler Auto Group, Indiana's auto giant. When shopping for a new ride, click drivehubler.com. Only Hubler includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile limited warranty.
Butler travels to Philadelphia to take on the Villanova Wildcats. This evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man. It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Oh, you guys are good, man. Really good. Check out that picture of the Pacer broadcasters climbing up and down the mountain. Drew Storm, top of the hour. Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network, Purdue, Illinois tonight. Rob joins us at 4:30. Greg Rakestraw at 5. I got Anything Goes for you coming up at 6 tonight, because I got to go until 6:20 as we'll hand it over to Mark and Nick the Butler Bulldog Radio Network. We may have them bounce on, too, for a second, since they're going to be hooked up, right? So we might do that, too. Yeah, I got Nickelback tickets, Daryl Hall and John Oates, and Squeeze and Yacht Rock Review to give away, too. Meantime, back to the phones. 239-1070. Bill is up next. Hello, Bill. Thanks for the hold. How are you?
Hey, JMV, pretty good. This is Shungus. I still think when Oladipo comes back, my nigga Mark, he's a real cool dude.
Yeah, we can't have that silliness. Jonah's at 239-1070. Hello, Jonah. How are you?
I am good. What it was with that last caller, that is just stupid.
I'm just moving on, brother.
Yeah,
just
that's
moving on.
The best idea.
Go ahead, man.
I have a comment about the Pacers, but I live in Phoenix, and I assure you, Camelback Mountain is treacherous. They chose the right time of the year to go up there because rattlesnakes go away, and also in the summertime, people have died from heat exhaustion and dehydration. So yeah, I've been on that mountaintop. I live.
Did you see that picture of Eddie Gill? He's like talking to me, and it doesn't look safe what he's doing.
Well, I went on Mark Boyle's Twitter, and that looked pretty cool. I've been right on that spot where they're at. It's a cool hike, but it is treacherous.
Yeah, I think I've been up there. I was out there one time staying at an all-inclusive resort that had I forget what the hell it's called, but it has a lazy river that goes all the way around. It's like a resort with condos in the middle of it or something.
I've heard of it. I don't know what.
Yeah, I think there's more than one. I just can't remember what this one was called. So.
Right. Yep. And one last thing before I get to the Pacers. If you get stung by a scorpion, you need to remove your man card. You have to hike in flip-flops to get stung by a scorpion.
No. How about, what if you leave your shoes outside, right? They'll crawl on your shoes, won't they?
I've heard that, but I live in Mesa where it's really developed. I've never seen a scorpion here.
Oh,
and
wow.
I've lived here for 3 years. Yeah.
I want to see a scorpion out there in the wild sometime. I've never seen one either.
I do too. I've tried, but I can't find them. You have to have a black light and go out at night to see them because they glow.
I got you. Go ahead.
Miles Turner can frustrate me, but I think Nate plays him out of position. He tries to make him a stretch four, and I don't really think I don't mind him taking threes at times, but I want to see him more down low to get offensive rebounds at times. But I think some people take his defense for granted. It's one of those things that you don't know what you have until he's gone because he really does help on the defensive end. But there are just times where I just want to see him on the block against smaller players because even when he does, I've seen him attack smaller players this year as opposed to last year when he passes it out to the perimeter. And he makes those, little bank shots. But I don't know why Nate keeps him out on the perimeter all the time. He's 6'11", for heaven's sake. And everyone can shoot the three nowadays. But I just think they do it.
I want to see him. I want to see him drive. I like to see him drive. He did that last night. Didn't get a foul call. And the most I want to see from him is if you miss a couple of shots early, if things aren't going your way. I mean, don't drag ass. Chin goes down, and then he kind of disappears for a while. I mean, he looked good in the third quarter, but then game was out of hand, so he didn't play again in the fourth. But that's kind of what I want to see. And I think that there are a lot of things that affect his confidence in that include social media. So I thought he was at his best when that disappeared, and I think he's at his best if he just ignores some of this outside crap. But when he hears it, he digests it, and I think it affects him. So
yeah, I agree with that, and he just reminds me of Joe Green. So much athleticism, but they never used it to their advantage, and that's one thing I want to see him do more in the future. But other than that, I like him as a player. He's a good player. He's a good shooter, and he's a good defender. But I just want to see him a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah. Hey, Jonah, good call. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Call in anytime. Jonah's out in Arizona. Kyle Mayhew says if you want to see scorpions, go to Iraq. You'll see plenty of them. I've never seen one live. I mean, that's my first go right there. Well, I was trying to think. I said gopher, and I meant to say prairie dog earlier. Like, there's three creatures I know that equate to the desert or a dry area. That's a scorpion, a rattlesnake, and a prairie dog. This is go-to. It's from Chad. Quinn Buckner, smartest Pacer broadcaster because Quinn wasn't on that thing. Hey, JMV, have you seen the Vegas draft deal? They're at the Bellagio and going to ferry the players via boat to the stage in the middle of the fountains, like something out of The Bachelor. That is about as Vegas as you can get right there. I got married in the Venetian, and then we had to take is it a gondola or gondola? Gondola? We had to take a gondola ride. We got married in front of everybody, like people in the Venetian walking around in shops, and there we were. I was just taking drinks from a flask. Woo! That was a good time. I would recommend that to anybody. Get married in Vegas, and not at the little chapel, not one of those half-ass things. But yeah, go take everybody out there. Venetian was awesome. I'd do that again. Quick break and we'll come back. Drew Storen, top of the hour. The news is good. He got a deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about cheating, stealing signs in MLB. He's going to be a good one to hit on that. But more so than anything else, we're just really happy for a dude trying to make a comeback right now. We'll talk to Drew Storen. Other side next.
Sports with Dan Dockich.
Jason Benetti joins. People often ask me about working with you, and one of the first things I will tell them, other than that you're crazy, is that you enjoy the game and you enjoy the people who are next to you. And I really do appreciate how good of a partner you are and how caring about the game you are, while also wanting to have some laughs.
I feel the exact same way about you.
Dan Dockich, weekdays, noon till 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Let's get right to the point. No BS. This is Dan Dockich, and it's time to cut through all the noise of all those typical injury lawyer ads on TV, billboards, and buses. Many of those big box firms just want a high volume of clients. They have so many clients, there aren't enough lawyers, so your case gets handed off to a case manager who reports to an attorney you may never meet. Plus, there may never even be a face-to-face meeting, and some actually end up charging legal fees that exceed what you put in your own pocket after a settlement, and that's not right. You are not just a number, and that's why you need to meet Randy Sevenish, Indiana's injury lawyer. He's one of the good guys. Randy will get to know you, and he prepares every case as if it's going to trial, which means your claim is taken seriously and your compensation is maximized. So the insurance companies do not have the advantage. You're a person, not a case number. Call the Fierce Protectors of the Injured, 636-7777. It's a no-obligation consultation, 636-7777, SevenishLaw.com.
Hey, John here for PAI. We grow hair Indy.com. All right. Looked in the mirror recently. Have you noticed anything? Are you losing your hair? 67% of the dudes over 35 begin to experience hair loss. And believe me, there are a lot more even before that age, and certainly many after. Listen, I'm just giving you options. If you want to be bold, that is fantastic. But if you want an opportunity to keep your real growing hair, have it thrive on top of your lid, PAI is the place to go. Darren Andrews at that private consultation, 888-724-5129. He'll tell you all about it, PRP and more. Again, options. If you dig on options, real growing hair is legitimate with the experts at PAI. Darren Andrews with the private consultation, 888-724-5129, or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
I remember the very first day that I walked into the showroom and was blown away.
After 28 years as a jewelry professional, Jenny Irvin thought she'd seen everything until she walked through the doors at Diamonds Direct.
Beautiful showroom, beautiful pieces of jewelry. The atmosphere in there was just amazing. It grabbed a hold of me, and I've not looked back.
Jenny discovered that at Diamonds Direct, she could offer her customers so much more than any place she'd ever worked in the past.
Oh my goodness, the selection, the showcases filled full of designers that I had heard of, but never had the privilege of ever working with. We did not have those designers.
And when you combine that with one of the largest selections of GIA-certified diamonds in America, it's truly mind-blowing.
When a guest comes into our store, the selection is immeasurable. If there is a design that they're looking for, we can find it. If you walk into Diamonds Direct, there is no reason to shop elsewhere. We have it all.
And Jenny should know, after 28 years, now she's seen it all. Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing.
Hey, Johnny for LD Smith Plumbing. LD Smith Plumbing, Lance and the team, the absolute best. Well, for a variety of reasons. I mean, they do have the best folks. I mean, we are talking about Mark, Joe, Phil, Tim, Trevor, Alex, Sean, Kevin, Jennifer, and Elizabeth, the best folks out there. But they maintain this, and it's absolutely true. Nothing too large, nothing too small. If you're like me, you have a little bit of everything, and you really need them. I've been looking for the best plumber out there forever, and luckily, there's Lance to the rescue. 317-284-9526. That's LD Smith Plumbing right now. And here's a great deal for you. $300 off a tankless water heater right now. LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526 online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
I'm Marcus, and I'm a contractor. When I put new windows in my home, I used Anderson 400 series windows because they're a snap to install. And as a homeowner, I only want the best. So if I installed anything less, I'd have to call myself and say, "What were you thinking?" And I'd say back, "I guess I wasn't." And who wants to have that conversation with themselves? So just go with Anderson 400 series. They're better for contractors and homeowners.
Anderson 400 series windows. The window contractors trust most in their own homes. Based on 2018 survey of contractors about Anderson 400 series clad windows.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis.
All right, join me tomorrow. We're going to recap the night in college hoops. Purdue, Illinois, and Butler, Villanova. I gave you Butler losing as my lock of the day.
The Ride with JMV.
And the beat goes on, yeah. And the beat goes on.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Eddie Gill on the side of a mountain. Podcast 1075thefan.com. Pacers lose last night in Utah, 118-88. In Phoenix coming up tomorrow night. Game 3, 5-game Western Road swing. Discussed a little bit of pay. Checked a little bit of Colts a little bit earlier, too. College hoopage tonight. Got Butler and Villanova, 12v11 or 15v, whatever poll you're looking at right now. But two of the better teams in the Big East. From Philly, that tip time's at 7. Mark and Nick come at you at 6:30. Number 22, Illinois and Purdue from Mackey tonight. Tip time 7. And Rob Blackman's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. And he's friend of the show. I got the news via social media a little bit earlier that he has signed a major league deal with or major or minor. He'll have to verify this. I don't know for sure. I just saw that he signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. Our friend Drew Storen joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So how you feeling right now?
I'm good. I'm excited. It was a minor league deal, so it's kind of similar to last year where I go into major league camp and have a chance to make the team. And yeah, like I said, it's a great situation for me. So I'm fired up to get down to Florida. I've
talked with you, and I've talked to Tucker Barnhart. You guys have been working out together to recapture the velocity that you have had. Where do you feel you are right now as you prepare to try to make this team?
I feel like I'm in a really good spot, well ahead of where I was, I feel like, at this point last year. And, you know, like I said, just to get that bump when you start throwing outside and or throwing more often. So like I said, I'm happy with where I'm at and happy with all the work I've put in. And, you know, I'm grateful to have a guy like Tuck that I can throw to and get some real feedback too.
Well, here's what's amazing. I mean, what's amazing is you guys, you know, are both from Brownsburg, and he's been, you know, talking about you and how you're coming along. I mean, it's got, you have somebody with that much knowledge. But then you have somebody that's your friend that cares about you as much as he does. That's got to be pretty damn awesome too.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we know what a special guy he is, and he's a great friend. And you know, at the same time too, he's not afraid to tell me that. Okay, that wasn't that great. So that's when you know you got a good friend. So he's been really instrumental in helping me get where I want to be. So. Yeah, like I said, I'm very grateful for that.
Drew Storen signed a deal with the Phillies. He's joining us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Give us a couple of hills that you had to overcome to prove it to a major league team that you are worthy of a signature at this point.
Yeah, so I threw, you know, obviously I've been throwing here up at Pro X at Westfield. So Chris Truby with the Phillies saw me throw there. And then I went out back to Driveline Seattle for their pro showcase day. So they had about 20 teams there, and there was a Phillies guy there. And so, you know, they, in their reports, I guess they gave me the thumbs up and kind of went from there. So it's exciting. And yeah, it's always awkward because you never really know when you throw out those showcase type things, because it's not like everybody's like, hey, it was great, man. Like the scouts don't talk to you. It's just kind of uncomfortable. So it's good I'm glad that something came out of it.
Now, what did Chris Truby tell you anything, or was he allowed to tell you anything as far as what he saw?
No, not really. I mean, I didn't really ask.
Yeah.
I don't,
Okay.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, like it's kind of one of it is what it is. So I just let it be.
It's Drew Storins on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So when do you have to report?
I think it's around February 10th. I haven't gotten the official date yet, so but somewhere around there.
Do you have other interests besides the Phillies?
No, I mean, that was kind of one of the first ones that really kind of made a push at it. And like I said, just from a situation standpoint, I mean, Brian Price, my manager in Cincinnati, is the pitching coach there. So, with that and some other familiarity factors too, it's like it's too good of an opportunity for me to pass up. I'm just going to get this done.
Man, that's awesome too. That had to make you feel pretty good, though. I mean, I know that there's still a lot of work to do, brother, but a little bit of a sigh of relief now that you can move on and really, you go to spring training and show them where you are and what you can do at this point.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like I said, I just need an invitation to the party. Yeah. So, and I got it. So now I got a whole nother bucket of stressors to worry about, and all good ones.
But it's a different kind of stress. I mean, it is. I mean, the family stuff is one thing, and this is different. I mean, you can go in there and have a little bit of fun with this now, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, it's something new, and it's always hard going to a new team and new organization. But like I said, between knowing Brian and obviously knowing Bryce,
yeah,
I'll know some guys there, so it won't be completely foreign to me. So, and the other factor that's interesting is my wife is due with our second at the end of February. So, yeah, this is a pretty exciting month for me, to say the least.
So are you how's that dynamic going to work there? I mean, it's all you guys are going to be together and fly. Well, how's that working?
Well, I'm going to go down there to report, and then just luckily there are direct flights from Tampa to here. So just be on the horn and be ready to go.
This sounds like a job for Big Chair right here at some point. He's going to have to step up. You know what I mean?
That's right. Speaking of, it's his birthday.
Yes. Shout out to Big Chair. It is Big Chair's birthday today. I saw that.
Turned 45. So
I was going to ask you, do we really know how old he is? Do we really know?
No, nobody.
Listen,
I
do.
Seen the real birth certificate, so.
I'm not going to say a word, but I do know he graduated high school in 1977, and I can do some damn math. I know that. So.
Well, congratulations on that, at least.
True stories on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I did want to get a hold of you as well, and that was even before you got the good news that we're sharing with everybody right now as far as the Phillies concerned. What do you make of all this Astros cheating and the sign stealing and buzzers and things like that?
It's a mess, to say the least. I mean, it's kind of uncharted territory. There's really not a right answer for what can be done. I mean, they handed out the stiff penalties, and you've seen the trickle down effect that's extended beyond the Astros organization. It's just it wasn't a surprise that it finally came out because I knew about it. But like when you have something that's team wide like that and as blatant as it was, when pitchers find out, it's not like every pitcher is going to stay in Houston. So when they go play against them on another team, they're going to be like, hey guys, just a heads up. You might want to try to do something different because they've got this going on. So it was pretty, you always hear rumors about teams that, they might be doing something, but that was pretty blatant. So you kind of knew it was only a matter of time. And you know what? It's ugly. It's messy right now, but I think in the end, it's good for the game to get it out there because in the playoffs, that's part of what was slowing down the game. They were the Nationals were using sequence signs with nobody on base. And so they're putting down 5 signs every time, even with nobody on, because of their concern with that. And so that just slows the game down even more. So, it's going to be interesting to see what the player dynamic side of it, because it's kind of, it's kind of going against the brotherhood, man. You don't do that. It's one thing to pick a sign from second or to get a guy tipping a pitch, That's gamesmanship. But, when it goes to that extent, that's just not cool.
Had you heard the allegations of buzzer usage that we saw last week?
I heard that, obviously, just with like anybody else on the internet, and that's never been validated or told to me. I knew about the trash can stuff when it was going on.
Had they ever done that when you've been on the mound?
No, I don't think I ever played it. I didn't play them in 17. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean that's the other part. So like, I'm very, again, I'm not totally shocked by it, but and I'm not as angry as some other guys are that have faced them. Obviously in really high stakes games. So it's really interesting because it just puts an organization went from being, the premier, what every team was looking to be, to now it's just it's quite a mess.
Well, the interesting part moving forward, every game they win, basically for the rest of our lives, somebody's going to have some sort of question about it. I mean, it's just going to be logical, I think, for basically ever.
Yeah, I mean, again, it turns into kind of that stamp that guys get when they get, busted for steroids or whatever, right? Like it takes away any legitimacy that you had pre this and post, and that's kind of the story of life, and it just takes one thing. And, is it warranted? I don't know. That's not up for me to decide, but yeah, it's definitely going to put a different lens on everything that they've already accomplished and what they go on to do.
It's Drew Storms on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You mentioned that certainly there's going to be a different take and a different level of thought to those that actually have been directly involved in the higher stakes games that have cost them. But, besides those that are getting found out, those are getting caught, universally from those that you're around in Major League Baseball, how is this entire thing viewed? From what I'm sure you've probably talked to former teammates, guys that are still in MLB. How is this widely viewed from those that you know? This whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much like I said, it echoes the guys I've talked to. Just kind of like it's about time it was called out, and it's good that because it had to take something like this to get it to stop, and like I said, when they went to that extent and had the success they did by doing that, it's a little slap on the wrist and like a hush, hey guys, like seriously stop. Like now we know that it's going to stop, with those kind of ramifications that, they could have too. So I don't know. I mean, it's like I said, some guys have more emotionally charged takes on it, but everybody I think in general is glad that it kind of came out because now if another team, because if it was going to go on and more teams started catching on, it could have really turned into something bad because now, like I said, with the technology, you can do a lot more. It's not just some random guy in a bullpen with binoculars waving a flag or something that you just always hear stories about.
Do you think that they're the only ones that are doing that to that degree?
I think so. Yeah. And like I said, just the kind of the bravado of how blatant it was. Like I said, everybody knew. You hear stories about other teams, like I said before, but it would only be a couple guys that maybe they had a dude out in the stands or something, one of those things.
Yeah.
But it was never something that they let the pitchers know about. Like it's kind of a hitters versus pitchers thing, even if you're on the same team, because if you're doing something that, against the rules, you're not going to let people find out about it. So, who knows what was, and you're kind of seeing it now as some other things trickle out here and there, but yeah, I don't think anybody was doing it to that extent. And I don't know if anybody would have gone that far with it.
Drew, you bring up a great point too, because this is so incredibly ballsy of a thing to do to that extent. And even before we get to the allegations that have yet to be proven, but it's something that ultimately is going to come. There's no way you conceal this. So it's like, we're going to go with it right now and then see what happens because, guys are going to go different places and then make other guys aware of what's going on. There's no way you can keep a lid on this.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And, like I said, the people going back to the old videos and you can blatantly hear them just crushing that trash can when a guy's about to throw a pitch. Like, it's not just a random whistle or, like I said, maybe a base coach standing differently or whatever it was. It's something that there's the evidence. And I think that's the hard part too. And that's what would really frustrate me if I was somebody that faced them while they were doing that, is to look back, because, those times you get beat and you're like, how? Like, I don't get it. And then looking back, you're like, oh, really? Okay, cool. Like, it just leaves a really sour taste. I mean, I've faced guys that have gotten in trouble for steroids, and it makes you really mad because it's like, well, that's not fair. We were, the deck was stacked against me there. And it doesn't change the way that they evaluate you. It's not like they look back on them and be like, oh, we'll look past that game now because you know what? They weren't doing it the right way. It's how you're evaluated, and it's a business. And that's like, it literally does cost guys jobs, which is just, again, that's just not cool. That's against the brotherhood. That's just, you got to be better than that.
So Drew Storen, he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. When you saw the Altuve video of coming home, and this is the allegations that have not been proven regarding the buzzers, when after he goes yard against Chapman and he's covering up and not wanting the guys to pull off his shirt, does that raise an eyebrow to you? I mean, all it is right now is a conspiracy theory, but there's a lot of it that makes some sense when you watch the video. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Again, when you take the lens and watch that video with knowing what has come out, and just kind of the way it's been handled from their end, and just kind of, I mean, the players haven't really said anything about it. It's like, it's hard not to buy into that conspiracy theory, but I don't know. I don't necessarily believe it. I mean, realistically, if I was a player, I wouldn't really care to have you rip off my jersey. It could be as simple as like, he's superstitious or, whatever it is. Right. But, who knows? It's easy. Again, sure. It's easy to buy into, and everything's gonna, like I said, with how much people are going through film, and they're finding the picture from the tunnel, and all this different stuff. People are gonna go with it, and the internet police are on it.
There's no doubt about that. He's Drew Storen with us. How many times can you remember in your baseball career where somebody caught in and you're tipping your pitches and somebody caught on to it?
A few times. Yeah, it happens a lot. But that's, again, that's a different ballgame. That is
right.
That's being savvy, and that's something on you as a pitcher, that you need to make sure that you're using some sort of complicated signs with a guy on second, or, you're repeating your delivery and the way you come set and all this other stuff, because that's how good those guys are. And there are certain guys that are really good at that, at picking that up. And, again, like we've talked about before with the tech side of it, that you can go frame by frame by frame and on these high-speed cameras and see every little movement and see where you differ. Like, guys are going to pick up on that stuff. So you got to be super paranoid about it. I mean, there are a majority of the guys in the big leagues, I feel like you can probably get something and tell, some sort of tip or tell a guy's doing.
Can you tell during games?
Like with other guys?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. You can see it, but again, a lot of that just comes down to angle. So usually in the bullpen, I don't have very good seats. It's a lot easier to tell on TV.
Sure. We have a mutual friend named Donnie Baker that once shared a story with me about how, since it's Big Chair's birthday and we gave him shouts a little bit earlier, did he recognize that you were doing it one time? Because Donnie Baker shared that story, and most anything that Donnie Baker shares normally is true, right? So we know that?
Well, yeah, it's state law, but yeah, it was, like I said, it was one of those things that when I would come set with my hands higher up, I essentially expose myself to showing some, right. Whatever it is, whether it's glove angle, glove height, all the different stuff. So, and that's one of the things that I work on, and I, try to teach younger guys that, like, you just need to remove options where you can vary. So, you see, like, I have a finger hood on my glove. So when my finger, goes outside the pocket or the pad, it's covered. So then, like, if guys wiggle their finger, that's a classic thing that guys can do on an off-speed pitch or whatnot. So, like, you just try to remove all the different variables, because you just have to be, boom, frame by frame by frame, the same.
So Drew Storen with us. Do you know Joe Girardi from the past? Have you talked with him before?
No, I have not. So played against them, but I have not ever crossed paths with him. So I'm looking forward to it. My buddy Clippard played for him, so I got a little bit of a scouting report on him from there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Between that and playing against Andrew McCutcheon for all those years to be a teammate of his, it's going to be kind of cool to be on the other side of things.
They actually they've been building that roster. In big time. There's no. I mean, they spent a lot of money on it with Bryce Harper for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's they've got a good mix of veteran guys with some young talent, and it's a good hitter's ballpark. So it'll be fun. It'll be good to play with Bryce again. I'm interested to see how different he is now a couple years out after last time I played with him was 2015.
So Drew Story's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He is signed by the Phillies and going to go prove what he can do and get back in MLB. We're really proud of you, man. Seriously, very happy for you. And although you're going to be unable to listen to the show, I understand that, and that's okay. So.
Well, I appreciate it. And, you got all these tech advances now, and I could just podcast it. So
I'll just
there's always a way.
I'll put a buzzer.
JMV.
I'll put a buzzer in your armpit, and I'll hit it whenever there's a good call on. All right, and we'll hit it.
There you go. Perfect.
Hey, tell Big Chair happy birthday.
I will.
Happy 45th. What a young
That's
dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Amazing.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you. Best of luck. We'll keep in touch.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, JMV.
It's Drew Stewart on the Eddie Moore Automotive Group hotline. Oh, man. This day in Colts history. This day in Colts history, I believe this was the day. I'm not going to call Frank out. I haven't heard from Frank. Frank said, this is a significant day in Colts history. One is, what was it? Ryan Grigson was fired. Was that 3 years ago on this day? I remember that too. And Bob Kravitz will remember. He worked at 13, and I told him, I said, hey, you may want to swing. He was going to an IU game. I said, you may want to swing this bad boy around because Colts have some news. And he said, so was Chuck gone? And I said, no, it's Grigson gone. That was interesting. And then 13 years ago, Manning and the Colts down 18, come from behind win. And you had a touchdown from Dan Klecko and Jeff Saturday, Joseph Adai. That might have been for the good. I mean, we know this. Marlon Jackson has the signature biggest moment playmaking-wise in Colts history, and that was intercepting Tom Brady, and the Colts are going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I think we'd all agree with that. I mean, that finally, Boyle used to say, ding dong, the witch is dead. That was ding dong, the witch is dead back then. They still had to go win the Super Bowl, however, but, that finally put New England to bed then. But, man, some amazing things in that game. I mean, the fumble, Jeff Saturday, I think it was Dominic Rhodes' fumble. Jeff Saturday recovered in the end zone. And that was a game where, I mean, you were physically worn out. I can't imagine being a player in it because just watching it, hell, listening to it, you were physically worn out. On the negative side, in the game that they lost, you remember the Pittsburgh game and, Roethlisberger and, Nick Harper, Vanderjagt, that game. You were physically worn out after that game, but you got no love because they lost. You were absolutely, fans were physically worn out after that AFC title game. In a good way. That's 13 years ago? Good Lord, that's a long time. 13 years ago. Ted Marchibroda's, he fumbled the no, that was Bob, actually. Ted Marchibroda called Jeff Saturday, Jeff Friday. That was good. I mean, that was it. Physically worn out. And Bob he fumbled the friggin' football. Bob wanted to, and he said fumbled the friggin' football. So many great memories. 13 years ago. whether you're watching at home or especially if you're at the game, you were physically shredded, worn out, in a good way. Quick one, we'll come back. Bottom of the hour, Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network. Got Purdue and Illinois coming up later on tonight. Rakestraw, top of the 5 o'clock hour. And I got some tickets to give away. I'm going to give you something coming up in the next 10 minutes. Sit tight.
A day after the Chiefs and 49ers punched their tickets to Miami, Super Bowl 54 props were already showing up on odds boards, and betting on the game's MVP is among the most popular early options at sportsbooks around the country. With your Bet Indiana News update, I'm Kevin Bowen. Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes opened as the clear favorite, priced at even money odds at multiple bet shops, followed by San Francisco signal caller Jimmy Garoppolo, who is trading anywhere from plus 200 to plus 350. It makes sense for Mahomes and Garoppolo to be on the top of the betting board. Quarterbacks have won more than half of the Super Bowl Most Valuable Player awards, including 13 in the last 20 years. On the college hardwood tonight, Purdue is a 6-point favorite at home against Illinois, and Butler is a 4.5-point underdog at Villanova after the Bulldogs fell out of the top 10 of the polls following 2 losses last week. This sports betting update has been brought to you by Bet Indiana News. Visit betindiananews.com for more sports betting coverage and insights.
Have you noticed recently you're losing your hair and you want the option to have your real growing hair again? This is not a fairy tale. This is the real deal. There's nothing fake about it, nothing glued on, stapled, duct taped, nothing like that. It's your real growing hair again through PRP, platelet-rich plasma. That's a procedure that you can find with Darren Andrews and the folks at PAI. 888-724-5129 for that private consultation. It's all about you and your choices. All about you and the options that you have. And if you want your real growing hair again, let Darren and the gang get that for you. 888-724-5129, or for more info right now, WeGrowHairIndy.com.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce is never an easy decision, nor should it be. You didn't get married to get divorced, and if your thinking is right, you won't choose divorce when good alternatives exist. Having said that, if you're a man facing divorce, you should know that, like many things in life, timing is important. Too often guys find themselves in a divorce court when their businesses are thriving, when their investments are appreciating, and their income soaring. Not surprisingly, these conditions tend to produce more painful property divisions and richer support orders. The reverse is typically true when men are in less favorable financial circumstances, when their assets and their ability to pay are diminished. My point is simply this. Divorce may make the most sense for men when they can least afford it. Think about it.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Hey men, this is the Indianapolis Men's Clinic with a heads up for any of you suffering from the embarrassment of erectile dysfunction. Not long ago, ED was thought to be a psychological problem. Well, that was just wrong. We now know better. We know there are physical causes for ED. The Indianapolis Men's Clinic has a solution. Guys, we know the little blue pill and herbal remedies don't work. Our doctors provide personalized medications that work for erectile dysfunction, premature issues, and Peyronie's disease. Our medications work for almost all medical conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure, and a low sex drive. We even give you a custom formulated test dose in the office. If we can't help you, there's no charge for your office visit. That's our guarantee. Guys, you have nothing to lose but your ED. Call us today at 999-9000. That's 999-9000. 999-9000. Or IndyMen'sClinic.com and ask about our incredible Priapus shot that's known to increase sensitivity, stamina, and even size. The Indianapolis Men's Clinic, your key to a better life.
Indiana, welcome to More Than Enough Reason with Geico. You're eating spicy food and start to get that prickly feeling on your tongue.
Oh, this has a kick.
You have more than enough reason to pump the brakes. But no, nothing's gonna hold you back now.
This is good. A little hot, but good.
You've also got more than enough reason to switch to Geico. Because with Geico, you've got the ability to reach an agent for help 24/7. Unlike your ability to get more water at this restaurant.
Yeah. You can just leave the pitcher this time.
And even though you regret overlooking the 4 little peppers next to your dish on the menu, you'll never feel overlooked with Geico, because they're available 24/7. Maybe that's why they've got a 97% customer satisfaction rating.
Oh, Wow.
So, Indiana, while you're trying to look composed with a mouthful of ice cubes as you fan yourself with the drink menu, you can feel relieved knowing Geico helps with homeowners and renters insurance through the Geico Insurance Agency, too.
Geico. More reasons than ever to switch today over the phone at your local office or at geico.com.
Hey, John here from my friends at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, both sides of it. I know we're dealing with the heating part right now in the wintertime, but here's the great thing about it. You know, John and Chris, they haven't been around for 100 years, but Love Heating and Air, they're celebrating their 100th anniversary, and that already shows you the level of greatness. To be around that long and to be great that long, these are special people too, and you just don't let people roll into your house and deal with your heat this time of year, or your cooling in the summertime in July when it's 90-plus degrees that aren't the best. And Love Heating, the best. And here is their special they're offering for their 100th anniversary. A 92% high-efficiency gas furnace installed for just $2,100 complete. Now, that's a limited-time offer or until supplies run out. Price includes equipment and materials and labor. This is a great deal. $2,100 for a 92% high-efficiency gas furnace in celebration of the 100th anniversary. For more information and find out how you can get that right now with my guys John and Chris online, love-hvac.com.
This ad for Hellsberg Diamonds has been specifically written for people who would rather think about beer than engagement rings. Imagine a bar with every kind of beer you can think of. There's a bartender who can tell you about every one. That bar is actually Hellsberg Diamonds, and those beers, our huge selection of high-quality diamonds and engagement rings at a great value. The bartender is a super knowledgeable associate who can help you find the perfect engagement ring. Come into Hellsberg, and you'll have something to toast. Visit us at Plainfield Commons. Hellsberg Diamonds, a Berkshire Hathaway company.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires today for no credit needed financing and the lowest price on every tire every day. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
The Pacers hit the road for a little West Coast swing.
The Pacers are scalding Denver Nuggets. Portland takes the first time. Golden State.
And when they get back, an old friend will be waiting.
This is Victor Oladipo here. I plan on making my return January 29th.
Next up, the Pacers are in Phoenix to take on the Suns. Wednesday at 8:30. Hear every minute of every game. Your home for Pacers basketball is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Your story was awesome. 1075thefan.com podcast. In that Phillies organization trying to make the big club. And we talked about that and cheating in MLB. Eddie Gill, Pacers television and radio networks a little bit earlier, too, from the side of a mountain outside of Phoenix. Get the Pacers losing last night in Utah. Phoenix coming up tomorrow night's the matchup. And again, your coverage begins tomorrow night for that game at 8:30 pregame with Pat Boylan right here on 93.5 and 107.5 FM The Fan. Our girl Sarah is here. Shout out to Sarah and the McAllisters and Speedway on Crawfordsville Road. She just brought some food by here, which is awesome. You know Sarah. Sarah's a huge fan of the station, and we love her for that. And we especially love her on a day when she brings some food by here, which is awesome. Thank you, Sarah. That's McAllisters and Speedway on Crawfordsville Road. Stop by and ask for Sarah. Tell them we sent you. It's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, part of the Boilermaker Radio Network. Later on tonight, Illinois and Purdue, Mackey Arena, West Lafayette. Here's our friend Rob Blackman joining us now. Hello, Rob.
Hello, John. What's up with you?
What's going on in your world?
Oh, it's this time of year, it's not a whole lot much more than basketball. That's about all I got going, which is not a bad life to live. So that's about all I got going.
You're getting a lot of TV time there on the sideline. We see you a lot.
Hey, here's a funny one for you. At Christmas time, the family Christmas, one of my uncles, who I don't see an awful lot just because of distance, says, man, I was watching Purdue this year, and I kept trying to figure out who that old guy with gray hair and glasses was there sitting on the sideline. And then I figured out, hell, that was you. Yeah, that's me. The old guy with gray hair and glasses. But yes, I do. Apparently, I do get a lot of TV time for better or worse.
Yeah, and that's a good thing too. I mean, you guys are doing a great job. You know how much I appreciate what you do and enjoy what you do, and you guys are certainly doing a great job. Where's this Boilermaker team going into tonight's game? I mean, it's literally, and I don't say this in jest, it's hit or miss with this group. I mean, it really is.
Well, and hit at Mackey Arena and miss everywhere else.
No question.
Mackey Arena. If we could talk the NCAA into moving the tournament into all home games at Mackey Arena, Purdue would be in pretty good shape this year for the NCAA tournament, but I don't see that happening. So, yeah, it's been quite a story, and Matt Painter has gone on record talking about, even in all of his years involved with basketball, he's never seen anything like this, where the numbers are just so drastically different. And I'm talking offensive numbers between home and road. I mean, look, every team is a little bit better at home, if that only makes sense. This is where you practice. This is where you play your pickup games in the summer. It's where you do your individual workouts. So obviously you're more familiar with your home rims and the shooting background and those kind of things. So it's always going to be slightly better. I don't care who you are, but the numbers are just so drastically different home and away for Purdue. I mean, you just look at the last time Purdue played Illinois, over at Illinois. They set a record for the worst shooting percentage in the history of the program.
It was like the worst offensive game I've ever seen, Rob. I mean, it was.
Think about that. The history of the program, now that's a lot of basketball. And you shoot 25%, and that's the worst that you've ever seen in the history of Purdue basketball. I mean, that's a record you do not want to hold. So, but unfortunately, it's been a lot like that a lot this year on the road games for the Boilermakers. So, you look at Saturday's game at Maryland. You hold Maryland on their home floor, top 25 team, to 57 points. You're feeling pretty good about that. The problem is you only score 50. So that's where it's kind of been for Purdue. Road games can't seem to score the ball for whatever reason, and in home games that hasn't been a problem. So hopefully at least that trend will continue tonight, hopefully for Purdue fans.
It's Rob Blackman, the Boilermaker Radio Network on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. This has to be incredibly frustrating for Matt and the coaching staff too, because you got guys to do it. It's just at home they do, on the road they don't, and that has to collectively drive them nuts.
Well, and again, I'll reference Coach Painter. He talked about this last night actually on our weekly coaches radio show. He talked about this team. He says, look, this team has beaten the number 5 team in the country, Virginia at the time, by 29 points. They've beaten the 8th-ranked team in the country, Michigan State, at the time, by 29 points. The team currently ranked 5th in the country, Florida State, we took to overtime in a neutral site game down in Florida in the tournament we played in. So obviously the talent is here, right? You have enough capable players. You don't beat teams of that caliber by 29 points and not have good players. So that's not the concern. You certainly have enough talent, but it has to come down to making shots, and especially on the road. And it is frustrating for the coaches. I can promise you they're running the exact same offensive sets and offensive plays and the home games that they are the road games. But for whatever reason, when you're here at Mackey Arena, they're able to make the shots go in when they run those plays. And when you run the exact same play to the exact same player from the exact same spot on the floor in a different venue, for some reason you just clank it up there and can't make shots. So, yeah, to your original thought, yes, it's been frustrating.
Hey, Rob, when obviously at 10-8 and 3-4, that is not an ideal spot to be in conference, and then as we start to get ready to go to the halfway point and make a stretch run for the rest of the conference season, I'm a must-win situation, dude, and a lot of it people make fun of. Where are we as far as collecting some wins in those must-win situations if you're thinking about postseason opportunities coming up here for the Boilers?
Well, I would put it this way. Just judging from what we have seen so far in the Big Ten, with the home teams dominating the games and winning, that now makes every home game a must-win. Yeah. I mean, if the precedent has been set, and it sure looks to me like it has been, that if you're at home, you're going to win, then you need to win at home. You cannot give one away at home, just the way the season's playing out in the Big Ten. If you can sneak one or two on the road, I thought Indiana had a great win at Nebraska this weekend, because that's a road win, man, and those are so hard to find right now in our conference. So if you can sneak a road win or two here or there, sure, great. But, man, when you're talking must-wins, I would say your home games have become the must-wins this year just because of the way the league is shaking out.
Yeah, and with their record, I would prioritize that back-to-back at the end of this month and the start of February at Rutgers and at Northwestern. And again, given that Rutgers is a lot better than it has been recently, there's no doubt, or ever, in the Big Ten, no doubt about that. But I would prioritize those 2 road games as must-win in the grand scheme of things here.
And that will not be easy. You know, Rutgers has not been beaten at home this year. They're ranked for the first time since 1979, and they're actually starting to put fans in that place. Right, they're starting to sell it out. It only seats like 6,500, but we've never been over there actually for a game where it was sold out. I don't know that we played over there when it was maybe even 3/4 full because they've just not had good teams.
It looks like you're playing like Perry Meridian or something. So
right, but it doesn't look like that anymore.
Yeah.
So that's going to be awfully tough over there. But yeah, I mean, if you're just trying to be as realistic as possible and look on the schedule and say, okay, maybe we could get a road win here, I do think it's fair to put Rutgers in the conversation. I think it's fair to put Northwestern in that conversation. I don't know where else, though, man. I kind of think, and I don't think those 2 are a given by any means. I just, like I said, the way the league is shaking out this year, you better win all your home games, man, because it certainly looks like winning on the road is going to be damn near impossible.
So Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. As he mentioned a little bit earlier, last time out against Illinois, the Boilers play tonight, 37 points scored, 25% shooting on the road in Champaign, which was as ugly as that sounds. And, Illinois is a team, maybe if there's a team catching fire in the Big Ten, maybe Brad Underwood's squad is doing just that right now, maybe.
Yeah, they've really added some pieces that really help them. Kofi Coburn's the obvious easy pick as a new guy that's made a huge difference. Most freshmen don't come into this league and be 7 feet tall and weigh 290 pounds and have skill like he does. So we talk about a great addition to their team. But, you think about like Trent Frazier. I was looking at the numbers on him today. He's a 1,000-point scorer for Illinois, and no one really talks about him anymore. His freshman and sophomore year, he was the guy for them. He was their number 1 offensive threat, but the problem was they were a bad team. Now he's taking a back seat. I think he's averaging 9 points a game maybe this year, but he's taking a back seat to Ayo DeSumo and to Georgie Bachanashvili and to Coburn and even Alan Griffin, who played really well against us in that first game against Illinois. So think about that. You have a guy that's kind of almost a forgotten name on your team who's a 1,000-point scorer in Trent Frazier. So that's how good of a job they've done at Illinois of adding some talent and really picking up their roster from a talent standpoint. And, yeah, hey, look, you could have won a lot of money back in August if you would have said, hey, on January 21st, the 2 teams tied for second place in the Big Ten are going to be Rutgers and Illinois. Because everyone would have taken that bet. They just said, no way. We'll bet the mortgage on that one. Well, guess what? That's where we're at. I mean, Michigan State's won, and Rutgers and Illinois are tied for second. So, yeah, they've done a great job at Illinois of really adding some talent.
So, Rob Blackman with us. Before I let you go, what do you think about what Raheem Mostert has done, not just during the regular season, but in particular blown up? And I'm sure that you called that back in the day when he was playing for the Boilers, right?
I was joking with someone Sunday night. I said, hey, when he played for us, we used him as a kick returner and a part-time wide receiver.
I'm laughing with you. I'm laughing with you.
So I'm not exactly maybe sure what we were thinking at that point. I suppose now something takes a little sting off of it from a Purdue standpoint. At least there were 6 other teams in the NFL that also didn't think he could play, right?
Well, we can laugh at the Eagles, Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, Jets, and Bears the same way if we wanted to, yeah.
Yep, and just lump Purdue in with that because there's a whole bunch of folks who didn't think that guy had that kind of talent. And it's funny, when he was at Purdue, he was certainly much more known for his track accolades. He won the 100 and the 200 outdoor in the Big Ten. He was the Big Ten champ. He won the 60-meter indoor in the Big Ten championship. So he was known as a track guy, right? And kind of football was kind of the second sport for him, at least when he was here. But man, he's obviously figured out the football thing because, wow, what a game!
Well, and we'll listen. You guys, the Niners too. I mean, I don't think the Niners really truly knew what they had until beyond the halfway point of the season. Really.
Well, and I don't follow him closely enough, but it's my understanding that had the other running back not gotten hurt early in that game Sunday, I mean, who knows if Mostert even gets a lot of touches, but Hey, so it goes, right?
Well, they'd been using him. I think
story.
Matt Breida is the dude from Georgia Southern who was supposed to be equally as fast, if not faster, than Mostert. And I just kind of noticed in fantasy football, all of a sudden his usage for this team had gone up at the halfway point. I think Breida got injured, and then when he came back, had trouble in ball security, and it kind of opened the door. And then this offensive line that, hell, they've been opening up holes that anybody can really run through right now, especially somebody that's got the track skill he does.
Yeah, and he was a burner. I do remember that when he was at Purdue. That's an easy statement there. He was so fast, but again, we hardly gave him the ball, so it was hard to figure out just how fast he was. But apparently he was very fast.
He looked really fast when he was over there standing with his helmet off on the sideline. So, really fast.
When I was watching practices and they were running sprints after practice, he was always the first man finishing.
Oh God, we're making Boilermaker football fans sick just by saying this right now. So yeah.
Well, hey, look, Boilermaker football fans are smart people. I'm sure they're thinking the same thing I am as they were watching Mostert score his fourth touchdown of the game Sunday. So it is what it is.
Yep. So Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network. He's got you coming up later on tonight for the Fighting Illini and the Boilermakers at Mackey Arena. That tip time later on tonight is at 7 o'clock. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You guys have a great holiday?
We did. Thank you. Kind of glad it's over so we can settle back into a normal routine. But it was awesome. Thank you for asking.
I couldn't. The moment that it ended, I was happy. I go, oh yeah, good.
I'm happy till late January when the credit card bill comes out for all the December spending.
I got one more January birthday to sidestep here, then we're all good for a while. So that's good.
Gotcha. Good call. Good call.
That's awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. All right, always a pleasure, my friend. I appreciate you. Have a great call tonight.
Okay, John. See you, partner.
It's Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Boilermakers 10-8. I prioritize. I'm a must-win guy here. I prioritize Rutgers and Northwestern. He's got to get some road wins somewhere. Think about that. Held to 37 points on the road at Illinois the 5th. Then you hold Michigan State to 42 at Mackey on the 12th. There's some Jekyll and Hyde stuff going on right there, and no question. Quick break, we'll come back. Rakestraw, top of the hour. Hey, what do you think about right now? We do some Yacht Rock Review tickets. 239-1070 Yacht Rock Reviews coming in July to the amphitheater at White River State Park. It is a great place. They've upgraded it. You love it out there anyway. You're really going to love this. Yacht Rock Review is back in the month of July. I got a pair of tickets for you. 239-1070 to go see them in July, the amphitheater at White River State Park. Thank you, Live Nation. Number 10 at 239-1070. Going to go see that show or get set up with tickets for that show in July. It's 93.5 and 107.5 FM The Fan.
The Pacers hit the road for a little West Coast swing.
The Pacers are scalding Denver Nuggets. Portland takes the first 9. Golden State.
And when they get back, an old friend will be waiting.
This is Victor Oladipo here. I plan on making my return January 29th.
Next up, the Pacers are in Phoenix to take on the Suns. Wednesday at 8:30. Hear every minute of every game. Your home for Pacers basketball is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The big game matchup is set, and you'll want to get in on the action, so check out Let's Parlay presented by Bet Rivers on 1075thefan.com to see how you can make some money.
Get ready for even more excitement and winning at Central Indiana's hottest entertainment destinations. Live table games are now here at Harrah's Hoosier Park and Indiana Grand Racing and Casino. It's what you've been waiting for. Live blackjack, craps, roulette, baccarat, 3-card poker, and Mississippi stud. Add in the play-by-play action of sports betting and the newest and hottest slots. 2020 will be the biggest year of winning yet. Join us at Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson and Indiana Grand in Shelbyville. Your favorite gaming, racing, dining, and entertainment destinations. For more info, visit harrahshoosierpark.com or indianagrand.com.
Must be 18 or older to wager on horse racing at racetracks and 21 or older to gamble at sports books and casinos. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Please drink responsibly.
Happy New Year from the HomeLoanExpert.com. You know what they always say, new year, new mortgage. And that has never rang more true than right now. There's never been a better time to be looking at a cash-out refinance. You can pay off all your credit card debt, lower your mortgage rate, and start the new year off fresh by skipping 2 full months of mortgage payments. It only takes 5 minutes to see how much money you can save at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
When we sell a piece of jewelry, we're becoming a part of their story. These are pieces that will be passed down, and their story lives on. And to me, that is the most remarkable, honorable thing that you can do for your family.
Diamonds Direct's Jenny Irvin knows a quality piece of jewelry is more than a one-time gift. It's a lifetime treasure. And that's why everything at Diamonds Direct comes with a lifetime warranty at no charge.
We partner with them for life. Everywhere else I worked, the warranties were charged. You don't pay for a warranty with Diamonds Direct. That is our thank you for shopping with us.
Cleaning, sizings, rhodium plating, all free at Diamonds Direct. And if you want to grow that diamond that we've cared for over the years, you can do it with Diamonds Direct's 110% upgrade policy.
Never have I seen a company that says, love this piece of jewelry, own it for a year, bring it back and we'll give you 10% more, and you don't have to double what you spent.
Diamonds Direct, your jeweler for life.
You truly will become a member of our Diamonds Direct family.
Keystone at the Crossing and online at diamondsdirect.com.
Chronic headaches, constant sinus infections, pain and pressure. The fatigue was overwhelming.
That's Karen. She suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She'd go to urgent care, see her doctor.
And we would do the same thing. Steroids, antibiotics, nasal sprays.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty.
Now my sinus cavities are open. You can breathe on a constant basis and not get sinus infections. I don't get headaches anymore. I don't take naps anymore. I'm like, oh, this is miraculous.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure? Is it difficult to breathe through your nose? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with the Indianapolis Sinus Center. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
FanDuel Sportsbook can't legally say the name of the football game coming up. Let's just say it's a big game. Well, a huge game, and you might even say the game is superb. But while FanDuel can't legally say the name, you can legally bet on that game as long as you're in Indiana. And to make the big game even bigger, FanDuel Sportsbook is letting all new users place their first bet risk-free. That means you can place any bet and get up to $500 back in site credit if you don't win. You can use your risk-free bet on any big game bet you want, including spreads, money lines, teasers, and in-game props as well. It's awesome. It really is. To claim your risk-free bet, your risk-free first bet in this case, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Using the App Store or FanDuel.com/Android, be sure to use the promo code JMV so they know that we sent you. That's the promo code JMV to get your first bet risk-free on FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be at least 21 and present in Indiana. Site credit is now withdrawable and expires 14 days after receipt. Terms and restrictions apply. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Twin Peaks is your ultimate sports lodge with a menu to match. Pair any of their made-from-scratch menu items with a frosty 29-degree draft beer served by a beautiful Twin Peaks girl, and you're in for a legendary sports-watching experience. The 2020 Twin Peaks calendar is here. The calendar has $75 in savings throughout the year, and $5 from every calendar purchased is donated straight to Folds of Honor. You're welcome. Get yours in store or online at TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/shop. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Sign up now at BetRivers.com. Bet on every football game. Go to BetRivers.com and check out the lines for today now. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
It's basketball season, and we're talking about that and Colts off-season news. Every morning, 7 a.m. on the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe at 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Can I buy you guys a drink? Guess not.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you just got to see me have a conversation with my daughter. That's always good. Again, shout out to Sarah for bringing the McAllisters in here, Speedway location in Crawfordsville. Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network, podcast 1075thefan.com. Also up there, Drew Storen, who got signed by the Phillies. And Eddie Gill, Pacers Television, joined us a little bit earlier at JMV 1070 on Twitter. I don't have a lot of time here. Got to get things reset. JMV really enjoyed the interview with Drew. Happy birthday to the big chair. Sir, I got to go. Yes, shout out to Mark. JMV, does Drew know if any other teams are going to the extent the Astros win? He said he knew about them, but others, he hadn't heard anything to the extent where the Astros had, at least from what he told us. JMV, where do you predict Butler will be ranked at the end of the year, and will they make it past the Sweet 16? Well, right now, as well as they played at the beginning, there's some holes in the hull right now. We'll see how they do again. No, listen, do I still think they're a good team? Yes. Do I think they're a grinder? Yes. At the same time, the thing they have going for them, there are a lot of teams just like that. There are a lot of like teams in college basketball, and I'm talking number one all the way down. I've said this before. I mean, hell, you saw Baylor survive against Oklahoma last night at home. And in Gonzaga, this might be the third best team in the past 3 or 4 years that Gonzaga has had. So it's got to give yourself an opportunity. There are a lot of teams are going to have that chance once we get into the tournament. All right, quick break. We'll talk about that and more with Greg Rakestraw coming up at the top of the hour. Nickelback tickets for you in the 5, and I also have some Daryl Hall and John Oates and Squeeze tickets for you coming up, courtesy of Live Nation, and an Anything Goes segment after 6. Back with you next.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Mike Wells. Most overrated food in America is the Philly cheesesteak.
I just don't think that's true at all. It's got the onions and the peppers in it.
Cheesesteaks are not the most overrated. I'm going to treat Big Joe. You cannot have longer than a 12-inch sandwich, all right?
It's the Philly steak donut vortex. I got to get out.
The Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe. Weekday mornings, 7 till 10. Only on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You always wanted a sure thing at Hooters, and now you got it. Indiana sports betting comes to the home of killer wings and the world-famous Hooters girls. Right now, get up to $300 matching bonus just for making your first deposit on BetRivers.com. Only Hooters has live streaming of odds on all the games through Connect TV. $300, wings, Hooters girls, and betting from the comfort of your bar stool. You may not have a chance with a Hooters girl, but you still might go home a winner when you book your sports bets at any Indiana Hooters. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, John for PAI. It's WeGrowHairIndy.com, 888-724-5129. The options of your real growing hair, again, with PAI. Darren Andrews with that private consultation. If you're thinking about it, find out what you need to know. And if you want your real growing hair, again, it's 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi from the Bill Estes Ford family in Brownsburg. We just celebrated the new year, but here, the party is just beginning.
Rob, quiet down in the dealership.
Oh, Brian, I'm just excited. We're kicking off the year with a huge sale. Leave 2019 in the rear view and start 2020 in a new way. New year, new decade, new car, new feeling.
Yeah, get 30% off the new F-150. We've never offered a price this low, and we may never again. Also, get up to $6,000 off new Explorers, Rangers, and Fusions.
This year, we doubled our lot size to give you more options. That means we need your trades. We'll give you up to $4,000 more for your trade and get you in a new car today. Drive away with 30% off a new F-150 or up to $6,000 off other great inventory. Push the ignition on your new Ford. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. Brian, let's have some champagne and toast to savings.
Drinking at work, Rob?
But if you love what you do, are you really at work? Ponder that while I sip on this.
When we reflect on the last year, we're filled with gratitude. We appreciate that Shane Company customers allow us to be a part of the most important moments in their lives. Because of this, every day our team goes above and beyond for you, like a friend would do. We travel overseas to hand-select the prettiest, diamonds, rubies, and sapphires at their sources and pay with cash. This allows us to cut out all middlemen and their markups and pass those savings on to you. Our non-commissioned jewelry experts educate and guide you, so you will get the most beautiful jewelry for your budget. We also have many great financing options. Choose what works best for you. Start the new year off right. Come to Shane Company for the most beautiful and unique jewelry at the best value in town. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
It's a new year, so let's wipe the slate clean. Why not start by giving yourself a raise and put money in your pocket?
It's not a pipe dream. This is James Hawkins at Golden Oak Lending. Home values are up, and you can use that increased value to get Smart Cash now. Smart Cash is the new equity in your home. Stop paying 18% credit card interest. Pay off those cards with Smart Cash.
Rates are still in the twos, and we'll get you qualified within minutes. Call 317-706-GOLD or get approved online with our Zipline mortgage.
We take all the risk. We don't even ask for your credit card. You pay nothing out of pocket, and if we don't close your loan, we'll pay for your appraisal.
Visit GoldenOakLending.com or call 317-706-GOLD, 706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, join my blues.
NMLS 114937, regulated by the Indiana Department of Financial Institutions.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Pacers' Western trip continues in Phoenix as they face the Suns. Tomorrow night at 8:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Collect them, trade them, or just enjoy them.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Nickelback here. You guys want to do it? Sorry. Number 10 at 239-1070. If you guys want to go see Nickelback, I got tickets for you right now. Seriously. The chicks go see Nickelback from what I've heard. Check it up. Number 10 at 239-1070. Nickelback, courtesy of my friends at Live Nation. And a shout out to Kyle and Kimmy and the gang over there. Big James, Hendrix, Jimmy. Oh, man, the folks at the Mirror are the best, too. I mean, Aaron, Jimmy, Lauren. Number 10 at 239-1070, Nickelback for the summer of 2020 at Ruoff Music Center. I'm looking at a lot of hits right in front of me. What was that? How You Remind Me? Burn It to the Ground. I think that was an old WWE background song right there. Burn It to the Ground. Rockstar. Where's my favorite? Lullaby. Never Again. Something in Your Mouth. Number 10 at 239-1070. Courtesy of us and our friends of Live Nation. Man, busy show so far. Eddie Gildrew, Store and Rob Blackman to this point. Podcast 1075thefan.com. Pacers idle tonight and back at it tomorrow night. Game 3, 5-game Western Road Swing is in Phoenix. Losers last night in a big and an incredibly disappointing way. Even though I thought they were going to lose, we thought they were going to lose anyway. Not much resistance last night in Salt Lake City, to say the least. In a night where the Jazz didn't play that well either. Man, turned the ball over 20-plus times, and the Pacers just had nothing. I mean, nothing. And we'll see if they can't change that up coming up in Phoenix tomorrow night. Butler Nova right here later on tonight. Mark and Nick have the call. That tip time tonight is at 7, 6:30. Your coverage begins here. Following me in Illinois and Purdue, we talked to Rob Blackman about that matchup at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette. The Fighting Illini have won 4 consecutive. That tip is at 7 from West Lafayette this evening. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, Greg Rakestraw, he's the Colts post-game show host and does so much more. Now, a friend of the show here, Siwi, sent this in, and we have made a lot about it, even though I think most of us believe it's not going to happen, because we really haven't we haven't talked about it at great length. But the Anthony Costanzo retirement possibility, again, I don't think he will. but the fact that is still floated out there and is somewhat of a question mark, that's the biggest deal on the horizon right now, because if that were to take place, that hoses a lot of things in the distant future.
It completely changes your draft order. Whatever conversation you want to have about it, they go quarterback in round 1, they go wide receiver in round 1, they go defensive tackle in round 1. If Anthony Costanzo retires, and I would guess the team is putting zero pressure on him, but the only thing that I think Chris Ballard would ask him is to say, hey, if you are thinking about stepping away, you need to let us know before free agency starts. So they can potentially go out and try to scour the market for a left tackle, and generally those guys don't become available, like quarterbacks or pass rushers. Then it becomes, you are drafting a left tackle at 13. If AC decides not to play, it completely changes the order of what you are looking to do from either a free agent perspective or a draft perspective.
Is that answer number one that they need to know this offseason? Is that where it all begins to you?
It is, because, again, there is still an unanswered question at quarterback, but you're not going to answer that question between now and March 15th. That question is going to be whether you're signing another free agent or, again, like you and I both think, you're going to draft somebody. I probably lean more towards round 1 than you do. I think you and I are both of the idea that, you're not getting to Saturday of the NFL draft without drafting a quarterback, whether that's on day 1 or day number 2. That answer is not going to change. The other needs that you have, again, you kind of know what your needs are as of right now. You're investigating guys to fill those holes at the Senior Bowl this week, and obviously in free agency come mid-March. Obviously, Costanzo is the one that could change between now and then.
It's like Greg Rakestraw. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We discussed this, and the whole quarterback question here is not going to go away anytime soon. How much added pressure is there on Ballard and this organization to figure this out and figure this out in the positive now, considering 2 out of the 3 years he's been at the helm that has been without postseason play?
Is there pressure because if they don't win next year, there might be some sort of organizational change? I guess. But I think there is such a desire to win from every front office executive, let alone a guy like Chris Ballard, that I don't think the pressure is external. I think the pressure is internal. You don't put in the hours and the miles and the time that those guys do, their scouting staffs do, assistant coaches do, to go 8-8 or 7-9. You put in that time to win and get to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. So I think we make a bigger deal out of external pressure than we should, because believe me, every person in a front office of the National Football League, their give a crap factor is awfully high. The pressure they care about is that internal type of it.
What do you think about these two AFC South teams, both winning postseason games, and obviously the Titans advancing to the AFC title game before losing on Sunday at Arrowhead? Did we see, according to the stats right now, did we see the best season since in the AFC South? And how is this going to look? Are both Tennessee and Houston going to remain playing at this level or even be on the rise in the near future? Or was this kind of what we saw from the Colts a year ago, kind of lightning in the bottle late season?
Well, obviously the Colts had a big changing factor, because you thought Andrew Luck was going to carry over, and that didn't happen. So that's obviously to some degree easily explainable. As far as Houston and Tennessee are concerned, I expect them to be as good, if not better, next year. And that, in one sense, I guess you could say that should send a shiver down the spines of Colts fans. But again, you only play 38% of your regular season games against, divisional foes. And given the fact that Jacksonville, I think we all have pretty low expectations for the Jaguars next year, that you play, say, 25% of your games against those two playoff teams. So it's not like Tennessee can be good and Houston can be good, and that means Indianapolis can't be good. No, that's not the way it works. You can have 3 playoff teams from one division. So I expect Houston to be good next year because Deshaun Watson is a hell of a football player, and he's got other good players around him. I expect the Titans to be good because I don't think they're letting Derrick Henry go. I think they found a quarterback that fits their system perfectly in Ryan Tannehill. And even when they lost the Colts in week number 2, we could sit there and say, hey, look, they've got some pretty good defensive pieces on that football team. So I expect both those teams to be good, but I don't think that directly impacts the Colts where it says, Colts are going to have a good year next year because they got 2 other good teams in their division. No. They're part of a pretty good division, which is kind of what we thought was going to be the case going into the season.
He's the Colts postgame show host. Also does a variety of things, college basketball, high school basketball as well. You got a couple of local teams in action later on tonight. You got Illinois and Purdue. I asked Rob Blackman this before you came on a little bit earlier. I'm a must-win guy. This Boilermaker team's 10-8, 3-4. In Big Ten play. Obviously, the home games are must win, and then you got to prioritize a couple of road games, kind of like what IU did in Nebraska. Yep. I mean, people weren't feeling it, but they went out there and got a win no matter how or what you think about this Cornhusker team. In year 1 of Fred Hoiberg, they got that done, and that's going to be big. Where do you prioritize the Boilermakers? At Rutgers, at Northwestern, as long as they hold serve at home beginning tonight?
The thing is that again, you mentioned Rutgers. And Rutgers is a top 25 team now.
Yep.
For the first time in 41 years, they're a top 25 team. So, the low-hanging fruit in league play in terms of road games this year would obviously didn't be in Nebraska. That opportunity has already sailed. And obviously at Northwestern. You don't necessarily play everybody home and road when you play 20 games in a 14-game league schedule. So simply put, it's not a home game. Yes. That makes it a must-win game. That is almost the feeling this year in the Big Ten and this year in college basketball in total, in a year where there is such parity. But in a Big Ten especially, where the splits, the difference in home and road games is insane, and we have never seen anything like this. At least off the top of my head, I can't say I've seen anything like this, where there is such an issue with winning on the road. But the flip side is I think that does create pressure to win every time you are playing on your home turf. So it's tonight a must-win game for Purdue? Yeah, because they're playing at Mackey Arena.
It's Greg Rakestraw with us. Will we see, come March, any at all at-large bids from a mid-major?
No. And I'm sure, again, it depends on what your definition of mid-major would be.
Sure, I understand.
As in, we can get caught up in semantics. Is the A-10 a mid-major? I'd say no. Is the American Athletic Conference a mid-major? No. Is the West Coast Conference a mid-major? Well, one of the best teams in the nation plays in that league. I would say no. Now, if you reference mid-major as in Missouri Valley, as in Horizon League, Summit League, to give examples of local teams in those leagues, no, those are all one-bid leagues. And this is what is happening. The mid-major is being whittled away. Either you're a multi-bid league or you're a one-bid league. Well, that's obvious. That's been the case for years. But, maybe we see multiple bids out of 9 or 10 leagues total, which means that you have 22 leagues that would be one-bid leagues. And so mid-major is almost a term that may be going the way of the dodo bird at this point.
All right, Butler at Villanova. And I think we discussed this last week, the importance of Seton Hall at home. And I kind of framed it as, hey, you lose that, and there's your opportunity to at least lose 3 straight. I mean, really. And that's right where they are right now, with a revved up and a much better, at this point of the season, Villanova team. Where do you stand with the Dogs right now? Because, I mean, hell, this point last week, everything was good, and now they've hit a significant stumble.
Well, first of all, big picture, everything's fine because they're still in a really good spot. And there's going to be such movement, and there has been already, and it will continue for the next 7 or so weeks until we get to Selection Sunday. There's going to be such fluctuation in terms of, are you a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 3 seed, or a 4 seed? Dude, it can change. It changes every minute in college basketball this year. So big picture, I wouldn't sweat it if I'm Butler. What you're sweating is the formula for you to win was not followed the last 2 games. And that is for all that Butler has done well so far. I don't think they're a team from a talent standpoint that has this large margin of error. In other words, it has to be effort every time out. You can't be – they're not a team that is built to probably win a lot of games when they're allowing 70 or more points. So they've got to have a return to their defensive model of success, because Seton Hall and DePaul both put up more points than Butler have been accustomed to giving up all season long. And so regardless of whether it's Villanova or whomever they are playing, this Butler team needs to win on the defensive end. And they did not do that the last two times they took to the floor.
Yeah. The Seton Hall was impressive. I mean, there's no question about that. Late in that game last week, they're impressive. But I mean, you look at DePaul, and DePaul was kind of in a kind of a must-win situation of their own. But man, this has placed Butler in a very odd position. Not even a week later than us giving them all the accolades for being the 5th-ranked team in the nation.
No, it's just brought them down to earth a little bit. It's the first real rut they have hit. And I would even cite the DePaul game, even though it was the road game, more so than the Seton Hall game. Just because, again, Seton Hall is a really good team that injuries have affected them. But when it comes down to it from a talent standpoint, they are as good, if not better, than any other team in college basketball. Or maybe not in college basketball, but certainly in the Big East. You got a guy like Miles Powell, that is a difference maker. And so to me, and again, DePaul is a better team than we thought they would be going into the season, just like the Butler Bulldogs. So again, the first two losses to me, Baylor, obviously given how good they have been this year, and Seton Hall, given their expectations going into the year, you understand when those two come up as L's on your schedule. It's DePaul, a team that you have controlled, albeit a team that is better this year. That's where, again, just kind of the way that game unfolded and the way Butler played, that's the first game all year where you go, the Bulldogs just didn't have it today. And so that's to me the game that catches your attention more of the two from last week.
Greg Rakestraw on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Where does the Nebraska win for IU put them, in your opinion, at this point in the Big Ten?
It gives them a rare commodity, a road win. Now Nebraska sucks. Okay, let's not slice it any other way. But they've found a way to get conference games, and you beat them more soundly in their building than you did in your own building when you played them back in mid-December. So you're not exactly hanging a banner for beating Nebraska, but you got a road win, and those don't happen very often. So now it gives them a shot of confidence, returning back home, and obviously for a very good team coming in town on Thursday in Michigan State.
And obviously we put the Boilermakers in a really teams like Purdue, like Michigan, like Ohio State at home holding serve is kind of a must-win situation. Of the teams, Purdue, Michigan, and Ohio State, and I mentioned that because that's where they are in the Big Ten standings right now. Who's the most disappointing to you at this point of the season of those three?
I would say Ohio State, just because they had played so well to start the year and things have suddenly gone awry, and they've got so many veterans there. So, again, of that group, I'd say Ohio State is the most disappointing. But, again, it's not like we're talking about them falling out of the tournament picture. They're going to be fine from that perspective. It's just they had built themselves up so steadily in November and December that how they have played for the most part of January has been really puzzling.
It's Greg Rakestraw with us. Marion County Championship, and you had the Battle of Lawrence Township for real. I'm telling you, I asked the question last week, and you said it's still more difficult to end up winning a state title, and certainly I agree with that. But, man, trying to get past and win, as far as the Marion County tournament's concerned, that's right up there. I mean, it is with that level of talent, especially within one township.
Think about it this way. I think it's the first one that LN had won in 11 or 12 years.
That's incredible, too. Yeah.
And so a program the stature of Lawrence North that has, the soon-to-be second all-time winningest head coach in the history of Indiana high school basketball. If he hasn't passed Jack Butcher already, maybe he has, and I've lost track at this point. But one of the three members of the 800 club in this state's history, and they hadn't won one in over a decade. So it speaks to your point about how tough it is to win a Marion County championship. And I look forward to seeing LN again. I think the next time I have them would be at Carmel on February the 6th. I've got LC now a couple of times in the next week. I have Warren Central this evening. I have them at Zionsville on my way there as we speak for ISC and my Indy TV. but that LN team is really something special this year. Not like an Odin Conley level of special, but I think the best team in the state nonetheless.
Well, to me, when you can a couple of times already this season beat LC, and I've watched LC play a couple of times, and there are not many teams out there other than maybe the one across the townships that would play better than they would.
I'm looking forward to seeing what I would expect to be the third match of the season at some point in time. That sectional is at Lawrence Central, and again, that would be the third meeting of the year, and it's going to be a great game. Obviously, I had the call the first time around, didn't have the call on Saturday night, but I can't wait to see them potentially play a third time coming up in sectional number 10.
Do you have any city tournament responsibilities?
For state tournament, I'm sure I will have something in the state finals. I don't have the exact assignment yet. I have the girls and boys pairing show coming up with Bob, and amazingly, the girls pairing show comes up as of Sunday. You can hear it right here on 93.5 and 107.5 at 5 o'clock. You can watch it on ihsaatv.org. I can't believe we've got to that point in time of the year already. But basically, John, I will have a game. I'm going to have 6 games in the sectional, 3 in the regional, 2 in the semi-state, and I'd say probably a fair number of 4 state finals on March 28th, at least for the boys' side. Same for the girls' side coming out in the month of February.
He's Greg Rakestraw with us. I bring this up because you were there as well. It's 13 years since that AFC title game and that win. And I was talking about that a little bit earlier. That's one of the few games I can ever remember where everybody, including the players, went home absolutely exhausted. I mean, exhausted from that game. One of the few games I can ever remember.
I'm trying to think of other championships where not the championship game is the pinnacle memory. The other example, ironically, given the background of the team that the Colts beat, the other time I could think of that would be the Red Sox beating the Yankees, coming from 3 games to none down, and then the World Series almost an afterthought. It is the same thing. I mean, we have great memories of the Super Bowl, but without doubt, the pinnacle moment of the Colts winning the Super Bowl was the game they won to get to the Super Bowl because of whom they beat and in the fashion in which they beat them. And so it is amazing. I think it's been 13 years since that was the case. But when I think back to that season, that's the game I think about, not the reign of the Super Bowl 41 in Miami.
Yeah, see, I would agree. I mean, there's some nice plays in that game too, but historic play. I mean, Jeff Saturday, Dan Klecko, just coming back from 18 down, I think, in that game. There's some things that really defy description unless you were there at the time and got to watch it. I mean, it was amazing. I've never been as exhausted in watching a game and not participating as I was after that one.
I've never heard a noise in my ear because you know how we would do. We would all go downstairs once you thought the game was over or was about to end. Not that anybody thought it was a done deal when a die scores with under a minute left to play, knowing who was getting the football. We're like, okay, I've got to beat the crowd to the elevators or stairs so I can get downstairs and not miss any post-game sound. So we would always go down and either watch the game in the tunnel on a monitor, or you would sneak into the ATA club, the Budweiser club, whatever it was, and find kind of a window to be able to watch the game. Well, that night I was in the inset club and in the entryway. So I was almost right behind the team bench, and the roar when Marlon picked off, I could literally still hear it in my ears just talking about it with you, when Marlon picked that ball off, and I could literally feel the beer hitting the back of my neck, spilling him and throwing him in the air in the section behind me. And I'm hoping that feeling for me never goes away.
Well, and that was a great feeling. You're exhausted, but at the same time, they're going to the Super Bowl. They dispelled what always has been a thorn in their side in New England. But then I think about the Pittsburgh game in the postseason, Nick Harper, Roethlisberger, the Bettis fumble. That was a different feeling. You were exhausted from that, but you didn't have the payoff because they still lost that game. So.
it was that the year before that feeling was, oh, blank. I could talk about this again for an entire week. And you and I obviously were the two sports talk show hosts in town at that time on a daily basis. And I'm sure the same thing was going through our heads. Holy, I can't believe we're talking about this again, because I have done this the last couple of years and it's not been fun.
Yeah, it's tough. I tell you what, though, there's nothing. The 13 years ago, after that game, there was nothing quite like that. You feel lucky whether you were a fan, you were there, or a media member or whatever. That was some amazing stuff. And that's why Marlon Jackson, that play goes down for me in the history of the Indianapolis Colts as the biggest one of all time, because that dismissed the Patriots finally, and there you have it.
Agreed.
Greg Rakestraw is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Always a pleasure, my brother. I appreciate you.
I will see you soon, buddy.
That's Greg Rakestraw right there. How old were you 13 years ago?
13 years ago, I was 11 years old.
You wouldn't even know.
I was living in Chicago, and I don't remember that game as much as I do the Super Bowl, because I was living in Chicago and they were playing the Bears.
Right.
And I was the only Colts fan that was watching the game with my family and friends who were all Bears fans.
That was such a foregone conclusion, at least from what we thought there. Because that New England game was the big one. But, man, so many different things. I mentioned the Saturday fumble recovery, fumbled the friggin' football. When Ted called Jeff Saturday, Jeff Friday. I mean, oh, man, there's nothing like that. Nothing like that. That Super Bowl run is Super Bowl 41, and we all go down to Miami and have a great time. That's the story I have when Mike and the Mad Dog were doing their show, and we were all holed up in the same South Beach hotel. And while it was a nice hotel, it was really nice, state of the art, back with the Rat Pack back in the day, like in the 60s. I bet Dean Martin and Sinatra had some parties in there, but in the 2000s, maybe not as much, but I remember riding down. We were all jumping on a shuttle to the Jackie Gleason Theater to do Radio Row, and I was sitting with Francesa and Russo, and Russo had been bitten by a spider. What he said his face was swollen. One side was swollen, and he was just cussing about a spider bite. He got a spider bite inside the hotel. That's classic. Classic stuff. But it all began that AFC title night 13 years ago. I guarantee you, Colts fans out there know exactly where you were. That was something. All right, quick one. We'll come back. We'll give you a chance to win some stuff. I got Anything Goes. Top of the hour. Again, thanks to Sarah. McAllister Speedway, Crawfordsville Road. If you go there for lunch or dinner, ask for Sarah. Say, where's Sarah? I heard about Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, for coming out. It's good to see you again. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Anything Goes, top of the hour. Anything you want to share at 239-1070. We can do that other side next.
The Pacers hit the road for a little West Coast swing.
The Pacers are scalding Denver Nuggets.
Portland takes the first 9. Golden State.
And when they get back, an old friend will be waiting.
This is Victor Oladipo here. I plan on making my return January 29th.
Next up, the Pacers are in Phoenix to take on the Suns. Wednesday at 8:30. Hear every minute of every game. Your home for Pacers basketball is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Here's what's happening with The Fan.
Kick off the month of May at Rev, presented by Fifth Third Bank, as it returns to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Saturday, May 2nd. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours before they're gone at revindy.org. Come out to see JMV in Connecticut as he broadcasts live from the Indy Home Show. Catch JMV from 3 until 6 at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Free samples from Heaven Hill, and you can schedule a free water test at the Connecticut booth.
For more info, click on 1075thefan.com.
Looking for a dependable used work truck? Maybe you're a carpenter, handyman, painter, do plumbing, HVAC. Whatever your trade, you'll find the quality work truck you need at Indy Trucks. They're all fully checked out and come with a nice 3,000-mile, 3-month warranty. You'll get top dollar for your trade, and Indy Trucks has easy-to-get financing, too. The other guys don't have that. Indy Trucks at 96th and Keystone, or our new location in Edinburgh off I-65, or IndyTrucks.com. Indy Trucks, we'll be looking for you.
It's often said that the only sure things in life are death and taxes. But there's definitely a third one, and that's change. Life is full of inevitable changes, and your success and happiness can depend on how you respond to changes you face. I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. In either case, you need the support of a trusted legal partner. Talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on, and that never changes.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
Hey, John, for Connecticut, let's get you set with the best water out there, too. Maybe it's a struggle because you don't have Connecticut water, which can affect, obviously, the taste of your water, certainly the smell and the way that you bathe, how you feel afterwards. And, when you wash your clothes, or from southern Indiana, when you wash your clothes, there can be an issue. That's why you want the best water, and Connecticut is giving you that opportunity. Connecticut Joe, the Indy Water Pro, and John and Dennis with this deal for you right now. You buy the Premier Series water softener and the in-home drinking water station, and they will give you $1,200 in a rebate. You get both. You get $1,200 back from my friends, the best water experts at Connecticut. 2 locations, northeast side Castleton, south side US 31 and Southport Road. And remember, we're inside the Connecticut booth at the State Fairgrounds on Friday with Evan Williams Apple and the incredibly popular Ice Luge. You guys don't want to miss that. I promise you'll love it. That's on Friday beginning at 3 o'clock with me at the home show at the State Fairgrounds. Otherwise, for more great deals for the best water, online, ConnecticutIndy.com today.
I'm Nate, a home contractor and a homeowner. That's how I know there's nothing more important than trust when putting new windows in your home. So when I said to myself, you should get Andersen 400 Series windows, I asked, why? Then I responded with, because they're time-tested and have fewer callbacks. So I said, makes sense, let's do it. I couldn't be any happier with myself or my new Andersen 400 Series windows.
Andersen 400 Series windows. The window contractors trust most in their own homes. Based on 2018 survey of contractors about Andersen 400 Series clad windows.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. 2020 is officially underway, and if you're even considering buying a home this year, you need to act now. You need to be pre-approved by a strong mortgage lender like the Home Loan Expert. We have a full digital mortgage, lower rates on more loan programs, and we can get you closed and in your new dream home in 14 days. It's never too early to be pre-approved, and it only takes 5 minutes at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
There's a chance your local Geico agent has the same affinity for dad jokes as you.
What do you call a fake noodle?
I don't know. Maybe an impasta.
Oh, so cheesy.
Did it grate on you?
Yeah, you really shredded me.
But there's a better chance your local Geico agent could help you out with auto, homeowners, renters, or condo insurance. Motorcycle, boat, or RV insurance, too. They'll work hard to provide sound advice and significant savings. You don't need to share a love for paternal puns to do that. Local Geico agents. Call or visit yours today.
The natural habitat of a creepy doll is a horror movie. It can't help being creepy. It's that small, fixed smile and those never-closing eyes, always watching you, plotting, which you're imagining. It's mindless. But when the creepy doll hears that Geico not only saves people money, but also gives them easy access to emergency roadside service through an award-winning app, it knows you should switch. Because yes, switching to Geico is a no-brainer. The only question is, how did the creepy doll move from the bedroom to the hallway? I would get out of the house.
Hey, Love Heating, celebrating 100 years, their 100th anniversary. John and Chris giving you a great deal right now. I can tell you they're the best. In fact, I called John over the weekend. I had some ice pellets dinging off my outside unit, and I whined and cried. I have no idea what's going on, so I called the expert. I called John, and John straightened me out. Everything was good. Everything's always good when dealing with the heating and cooling experts at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. And right now, celebrating 100 years, and here's how they're doing it. They're offering you a 92% high-efficiency gas furnace installed for just $2,100 complete. This is for a limited time, and while supplies last. This price includes equipment, materials, and labor. It's a great price tag with great folks. More information for John and Chris and the gang. Love Heating and Air Conditioning, and 100 years in their anniversary. Online, love-hvac.com today.
Sign up now at BetRivers.com. Bet on every football game. Go to BetRivers.com and check out the lines for today now. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Sports with Dan Dockett.
Sage Steele joins us. I'm tired of having to apologize for playing basketball at Indiana University, number 1, and Fort Bob Knight, number 2.
Yeah.
It's probably more personal than any other thing in my life, not family related.
Understandably so. You're one of those people that I cheered for forever ago and still do, frankly, and I love it because you bring it every day. Your passion on the court is exactly what we hear every day on radio and see on TV.
Dan Dockett, weekdays, noon till 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Sets up. Throws one over the intercepted. Marlon Jackson. Marlon's got it. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. Marlon Jackson with the interception. He picked off Tom Brady. The Colts have it at the 40-yard line with 16 seconds to go. They look down below. What a comeback. What an effort. And what a job by this crowd.
Colts Radio right there. That was it. Shout out to Marlon Jackson, friend of this show. That was it. 13 years ago. It was, let me make some new words here. I don't know, these might even be words. Euphorically exhausting. Orgasmically exhausting. I've never been a part of anything, been in a game like that ever. Ever. I mean, ever. Everybody thought the fate was sealed again, the doom and the gloom. I mean, just emotionally drained. What do you think? Orgasmically exhausting. You guys like that one?
I think it fits.
Whew, man, that was something. I think Hagen and I did a little TV afterwards too. We did TV. We were outside and down where, I think where that is now. No, down. Down coming where there used to be. Remember, you used to walk under the train track, right, and then go up. Well, the players came out right there and parked. We were right in that area. Now, which would be now on the other side of the convention. Hell, I think now it's where the touchdown town is. Man, it was something. That's pretty awesome. From Jeremiah, hey, JMV, did someone on your Twitter timeline predict that today was going to be the return of Andrew Luck? Yeah, I bet the over on that and hit. Yeah, I'm not going to call him out. I mean, I just said, hey, whatever. I think that Frank put out there that because on this date it was the Colts over the Pats, because on this date it was the exit of Ryan Grigson, that his prediction was it was going to be the return of Luck. And like Jim Irsay has been on Twitter with, the kind of cryptic song titles and stuff, and I think some folks were trying to put two and two together, which is always really good. But no, I have not heard anything about that. Thank you, Jeremiah. JMV, I'm not sure if I'm totally correct, but I think the only teams to not be ranked this year from the Big Ten are Nebraska, Northwestern, and IU. I'm not sure if the Big Ten or any other conference. I think IU's been ranked, though, right? Didn't IU get inside the top 25 at some point? Not sure if the Big Ten or any other conference has had that many in one season. It's deep, and IU is close to top 25 as well. I thought that IU got ranked at some point of the season. Was I drunk? Which could be possible. JMV, I was there for that game 13 years ago after my little girl being born. That's probably one of the greatest moments of my life. Don't tell my wife it's ahead of my wedding date. It was tough. I did TV with Hagen on 59 right afterwards, and it was tough to put stuff because there was just so much going through your head. It's tough to put into words. That was incredible. Man, I remember saying this too. After the Colts won Super Bowl 41, and I remember going on the air on that Monday and saying, hey, you know what, Colts fans, you don't have to put up with any BS ever again. No more BS. No more Manning can't win the big one. No more the Colts can't win the big one. No more the Colts score too much. They're all flash and no grit. And that's before we used the word grit, or at least it became popular. I remember saying all that, and it took literally 6 months for that all to end. So, I mean, listen, it was great. It was a great opening, too. I thought, man, I got a great opening right here. And, connecting to everybody out there. And, I mean, hell. That thing was forgotten in like 6 months. Hey, JMV, you're going to give away any Jason Aldean tickets. I'm not sure. I haven't heard yet. Normally we do. I will say that. JMV, did you say orgasmically exhausting? Yeah. That's weird, I know. I'm becoming a wordsmith right here before you. Chad's at 239-1070 before the break. Go ahead, Chad. How are you?
Hey, Jamie, how are you?
I'm great. Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to talk about the drafting philosophy for the Colts and why they should not consider a wide receiver at number 13.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. The best of wide receivers, JMV, Julio Jones, OBJ, anyone and everyone have been schemed out by good coaches in the playoffs. I see it again and again. You'll have to go back to the 2008 Super Bowl where Big Ben had to make the perfect throw to Santonio Holmes for a game-winning touchdown. I mean, yes, they make plays, but good coaches find a way to scheme them out that the return on investment is not nearly as good as a return on investment in a great defensive playmaker or a quarterback.
Well, and I will say this, hey, Chad, while I could agree with some of what you just said, having that definitive type of player at that position in this era of the NFL is important because the first thing you got to do is get your ass there.
Yes, but if think about this. Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, D.K. Metcalf, Julian Edelman, Gronkowski, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I mean, Edelman and Doug Baldwin are undrafted for crying out loud. When you have the good offensive line and an elite quarterback, make a non-alpha wideout to perform like an alpha wideout. Doesn't mean that you have to wait till day 3, but a day 2 wideout with talent like the ones I mentioned, none of those guys were drafted in round 1. So, and all of those make excellent contribution on playoff teams. Ironically, the one that was drafted in round 1, Corey Davis, was the least productive of all the playoff wideouts. Go figure that.
But while I understand that, I mean, you got how many first-round picks does San Fran have on their defensive line? And before you say that, I'll get back to the offense, which was your point. Now, Kansas City, Sammy Watkins is a former number 1, right? And a wide receiver, right? And you also, to build a team, there's no doubt, you have to also fall into it. You have to really scout well. And right now, Kansas City clearly has the best quarterback. Arguably, if not clearly, have the best tight end. Arguably, if not clearly, have the fastest wide receiver. And, I mean, their offensive line hasn't been that good all year.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a Peyton Manning, you can make Pierre Garçons and the Blair Whites look real good.
Hey, listen, we do agree on that, though. That is absolutely, I do agree with you there.
That is far more important.
Yes.
The serve comes before the return of serve, and the pitcher comes before the hitter.
Listen, I agree with you there. And are you saying or suggesting that you got to, at 13 or move up, draft a high-level quarterback? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Exactly. If you're considering a skill position, the quarterback has to come before the wide receiver, and that position touches the ball almost too much. And on a side note, the other thing that I also wanted to talk about, I don't know your opinion on it. I feel like the new age quarterbacks, for some reason, I feel maybe it is just me that some of these. I'm not intentionally bringing race into it, but I get the feeling that a colored quarterback's athletic skills is somehow used against him to diminish his way of playing quarterback because we are so used to the traditional pocket passer quarterback that we do not want to realign our thinking around the new way of playing quarterback, that we almost find a way to pick apart these new age quarterbacks, saying that, he's just an athlete who can throw occasionally, but it's basically the athletic skills overpower what they can do as a quarterback, and people are not giving enough credit.
Yeah,
to
well,
the quarterback skills.
While you hear, you hear constant criticism. I think it just comes with the position, Chad, in general. I mean, it does. I mean, whether you're a pocket passer or a guy that moves around or an athletic guy, a Lamar Jackson guy or a Patrick Mahomes guy, that type of criticism just comes with the position in general.
Yeah, it's like the moment they fail, people are ready to pounce.
There's
on
no question.
Watson,
No question.
Mahomes,
No question.
all those people. So.
Hey, Chad, thank you for the call. I got to run here. I appreciate you. Listen, the first point he made about quarterback, I think a lot of Colts fans were probably shaking their head yes right there. Now, I tried to counter it with, well, this is what Kansas City did to also build around. They have arguably the best, without argument, the best quarterback going right now, state of the art. They did a hell of a lot to build around him, too. I mean, he's got some weapons. He's not running around out there naked. He's got some weapons. All right, quick one. We'll come back. Quick break, and we got anything goes top of the hour. We'll do that top of the hour, and I'm going to give away some Darryl Hall and John Oates tickets coming up in the next 10 minutes, too.
The big game matchup is set, and you'll want to get in on the action, so check out Let's Parlay presented by Bet Rivers on 1075thefan.com to see how you can make some money.
Here's what's happening with the Fan.
Kick off the month of May at Rev, presented by Fifth Third Bank, as it returns to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Saturday, May 2nd. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours before they're gone at revindy.org. Come out to see JMV in Connecticut as he broadcasts live from the Indy Home Show. Catch JMV from 3 until 6 at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Free samples from Heaven Hill, and you can schedule a free water test at the Connecticut booth.
For more info, click on 1075thefan.com.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi from the Bill Estes Ford family in Brownsburg. We just celebrated the new year, but here, the party is just beginning.
Rob, quiet down in the dealership.
Oh, Brian, I'm just excited. We're kicking off the year with a huge sale. Leave 2019 in the rear view and start 2020 in a new way. New year, new decade, new car, new feeling.
Yeah, get 30% off the new F-150. We've never offered a price this low, and we may never again. Also, get up to $6,000 off new Explorers, Rangers, and Fusions.
This year, we doubled our lot size to give you more options. That means we need your trades. We'll give you up to $4,000 more for your trade and get you in a new car today. Drive away with 30% off a new F-150 or up to $6,000 off other great inventory. Push the ignition on your new Ford. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. Brian, let's have some champagne and toast to savings.
Drinking at work, Rob?
But if you love what you do, are you really at work? Ponder that while I sip on this.
Hey, 2020's rolling. My friends at Diamonds Direct have totally restocked for the new year. The holiday season was great, and they now are all new. Shipments have arrived, including fresh multi-million-dollar supply of diamonds. I mean, dazzling diamonds in all shapes and sizes, too. They're tapping their worldwide network of diamond cutters, buying the best of the best stones for 2020. We're talking GIA certified diamonds, rounds, princess cuts, emerald cuts, cushion cuts, ovals, all that you know, from 1 carat to 10 to 20. Big time, and you're not going to find this greatness any place else. Plus, the price tag along with the selection and the warranties and the guarantees. This makes it one-stop shopping. And believe me, after the holiday season, it's not like you're not going to have to buy a very special gift at some point, whether it's an anniversary or a birthday or a graduation gift coming up in the spring. Just make sure you do it at the right place, the best place. This is where you hit a home run. Nobody does it for you like Diamonds Direct. Massive selection, uncompromising quality. The warranties and the guarantees are unmatched. Make 2020 the year of the diamond at Diamonds Direct. That's Keystone at the Crossing.
George Faber here, owner of B Window. Are you a subcontractor and tired of dealing with taxes, regulations, and going to the dump? Why not call us and let us show you how, as an employee, you can have your own new truck, trailer, and gas and make $100,000 a year like many of our guys do now. We work our crews every day and have a huge backlog for the winter. Call right now, 317-283-8522, or go to bwindow.com.
That's Faber's B-Window. Trust me.
FanDuel Sportsbook can't legally say the name of the football game coming up here, but let's just say it's a big game. I mean, a huge game, and some may say it's superb. But while FanDuel can't legally say the name, you can legally bet on that game as long as you're in Indiana. And to make the big game even bigger, FanDuel Sportsbook is letting all new users place their first bet risk-free. That means you can place any bet and get up to $500 back in site credit if you don't win. You can use your risk-free bet on a big game bet that you want, like a spread, maybe a money line, teaser, in-game props, whatever. And to claim your risk-free first bet, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Do it inside of the App Store or online, FanDuel.com/Android. And be sure to use the promo code JMV so they know where you got the info from. Use that promo code JMV to get your first bet risk-free on FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be at least 21 and present in Indiana. Site credit is now withdrawable and expires 14 days after receipt. Terms and restrictions apply. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
You're going to eat your fat.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Anything goes, top of the hour. Daryl Hall and John Oates and Squeeze tickets. I want to see. I've never seen Squeeze before. I'm down with that program. That show was announced today. Jeff writes this, JMV. Chad is a deep thinker. Chad's always really good on the show. I don't mind it. JMV, what quarterback at 13 is better than Jacoby? A lot of people would argue you could find somebody better than Jacoby there. I think a lot of people would argue that. Some people would side with you and suggest that he was injured and wide receiving core was diminished, need help, all that. And some certainly would not. JMV, can you explain the Hooters and Bet Rivers promotion to me? I can bet from any bar stool or toilet for that matter without going to Hooters. I don't know. I'm no marketing or ad whiz here, gut shot, but I'm thinking that they want to get you to Hooters. That's my thought. I'm thinking they are telling you that they would like you to go to Hooters. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. JMV, I'm getting so tired of hearing the Miles Turner bashing every time the Pacers lose and even when they win. Unless he goes for 20 and 10, the haters go crazy. 29 other teams would love to have Miles. I feel your pain. Listen, I get frustrated sometimes too, and he's got detractors around here that are never going to get up off of him. So he's always going to be the biggest problem when they lose. Always. Make no mistake. Listen, I was frustrated the other night with the way that he played. That just comes with the territory. Normally a team always has somebody that's, that is the target of that. And with this one, he's constantly going to be that. Sometimes I think that that some fans would rather see them lose and him play bad, seriously, than win and play well. But that could be me. You guys are asking me, do you get tired of taking it? No, I mean, really, it's just open for discussion. It's debatable stuff here. That's what happens. That's why I'm here. The only thing, and listen, game-wise, have at it. The only thing that I can't get with some short, fat, marshmallow dude talking about how soft an NBA guy is. And that doesn't mean that's that particular player. That's any of them. Because that dude would get his ass whipped in a heartbeat. I'd laugh, by the way, too. That dude's getting his ass whipped by anybody, not just a professional athlete. Yeah, that's what I see all the time. Logically, I just don't respond to it, though. It's weird. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. I'm kind of in a spot right now. The one thing that I've been very, very secure in my own skin and very secure with where I am and things. So, crap doesn't bug me like it might somebody else that's thin-skinned and has to whine about everything. It's just not me. But, I mean, are there times? Yes. There's no question. I mean, no question about it. Listen, and getting back to the Pacers as a whole last night, I mean, it was just awful. Like, I expected them to lose. I thought that was going to be a tough schedule to try to overcome and come away with 2 wins in it, even after winning at Denver. But, damn, I didn't expect that. That was awful. I mean, they made it incredibly unwatchable last night. And that's what you don't want. Hey, JMV, is this the Mr. Obvious show concerning Hooters sports betting? I just was answering that question with all the knowledge that I have backing me here. I think they want you to go to Hooters. That's what I'm thinking. Hey, shout out to my man Chase Wilson. I went to see Chase and Alex today, and I think we're going to get some stuff done ad-wise later on, but they're fans of the show and now friends of the show, and I appreciate them. I do. Get on Drop Off Line Sports with me. That'll be fun with Lainey. She wasn't up for it this morning, though. Sometimes she's not. Just let it go. All right. Chase, it was great to see you and Alex, too, man. Let's go have some drinks downtown at some point, too. It's Chase Wilson, everybody. All right, quick break. We'll come back. You want to do some Anything Goes here? Should I give away Daryl Hall and John Oates tickets during Anything Goes or do it right now? Let's do it right now. You want to do it right now? All right, Daryl Hall and John Oates, that was just announced today. I think we inadvertently started yesterday, but it was announced today. Daryl Hall and John Oates and Squeeze. I've never seen Squeeze. This is going to be a fantastic show. You know, Squeeze, they have a song, Tempted. I love the song Hourglass. This is going to be a great show. Ruoff Music Center, Daryl Hall and John Oates and Squeeze. Number 10 at 239-1070. So let Kyle get a winner, and then we'll turn it around, and it's Anything Goes. And Anything Goes means anything goes at 239-1070. Back with you next.
The Pacers hit the road for a little West Coast swing.
The Pacers are scalding Denver Nuggets. Portland takes the first 9. Golden State.
And when they get back, an old friend will be waiting.
This is Victor Oladipo here. I plan on making my return January 29th.
Next up, the Pacers are in Phoenix to take on the Suns. Wednesday at 8:30. Hear every minute of every game. Your home for Pacers basketball is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires today for no credit needed financing and the lowest price on every tire every day. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce is never an easy decision, nor should it be. You didn't get married to get divorced, and if your thinking is right, you won't choose divorce when good alternatives exist. Having said that, if you're a man facing divorce, you should know that, like many things in life, timing is important. Too often guys find themselves in a divorce court when their businesses are thriving, when their investments are appreciating, and their income's soaring. Not surprisingly, these conditions tend to produce more painful property divisions and richer support orders. The reverse is typically true when men are in less favorable financial circumstances, when their assets and their ability to pay are diminished. My point is simply this. Divorce may make the most sense for men when they can least afford it. Think about it.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
Hey, John here for LD Smith Plumbing. All my friends, it's Lance and Mark and Joe and Phil. Tim, Trevor, Alex, Sean, Kevin, and Jennifer and Elizabeth. That is one heck of a team right there. And I need one heck of a team. I need plumbing greatness because my plumbing has been off for a long time, both big and small. Like I need a garbage disposal put in. I call on LD Smith Plumbing. I've got pipes under my home when I shut the faucet off in the kitchen that rumble like there's an earthquake. That's a big job. LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. They are the best. And right now, take $300 off a tankless water heater with my friends at LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526. Dirty, stinking, honest. They are the best. Any plumbing issues, it's LD Smith Plumbing. LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
It's a new year, so let's wipe the slate clean. Why not start by giving yourself a raise and put money in your pocket?
It's not a pipe dream. This is James Hawkins at Golden Oak Lending. Home values are up, and you can use that increased value to get Smart Cash now. Smart Cash is the new equity in your home. Stop paying 18% credit card interest. Pay off those cards with Smart Cash.
Rates are still in the twos, and we'll get you qualified within minutes. Call 317-706-GOLD or get approved online with our Zipline mortgage.
We take all the risk. We don't even ask for your credit card. You pay nothing out of pocket, and if we don't close your loan, we'll pay for your appraisal.
Visit GoldenOakLending.com or call 317-706-GOLD. 706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, regulated by the Indiana Department of Financial Institutions.
This is Jack and Jane.
TV dinners.
Before Jack went to Diamonds Direct to find something special for Jane. This is Jack and Jane after Jack gave Jane the gift from Diamonds Direct.
Love you!
The difference makes all the difference. Put a little pep in your relationship step. It's easy with Diamonds Direct's everyday gift collection. Birthdays, anniversaries, push presents, or just because. We've got the latest fashion-forward jewelry from the world's top designers. Lots of one-of-a-kind pieces, too. Jewelry she'll cherish forever at the guaranteed best value prices in America. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Just the right gift to kick your relationship up a notch. So when Jack and Jane feel a little... maybe it's time for a little... Yes! From Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct. Diamonds, engagement rings, and so much more. Highest quality, best prices every day. Get directions, store hours, and more at DiamondsDirect.com.
Busy schedule? Don't sweat it. Does your gym really have everything you're looking for? The Monon Community Center has all you need for a full body workout, including a fitness center with state-of-the-art equipment, free weights, indoor track, indoor lap pool, and group fitness classes, including boot camp and 30-minute express classes. When working out is this easy, there are no excuses. Memberships are just $42 per month. One price, one place, all access. Purchase now at CarmelClayParks.com.
Hey, golf friends, it's JMV here to tell you all about the 27th year anniversary membership special at the Legends Golf Club in Franklin, and I love it. For only $89 a year with a $10 per year administrative fee, you can get a 2-year anniversary membership at the Legends Golf Club and enjoy unlimited golf Monday through Friday. For an extra $50 per year, you can play 7 days a week. Enjoy golf at the Legends Golf Club,
In the 2021 seasons for only $89 per year, there's never been a better deal from a better golf course in and around Indy. I know from my personal experience. I love it. You must call today. Tell Ted that I sent you too, by the way. The Legends Golf Club, 317-736-8186. That's 317-736-8186. Call the Legends Golf Club before this deal ends. If you love golf, you're going to love this. 317-736-8186. The Legends Golf Club in Franklin.
This is Indy Sports Center.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2,
W298BB, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Butler travels to Philadelphia to take on the Villanova Wildcats. This evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I want you out in front of the school with her. I'd like to have a few words with you, by God.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
What you guys feeling it right now? Anything goes? We got an extra 20, so I got some anything goes time. 239-1070. You know the drill. You don't get checked in. Normally Kyle checks you in, but not here. We just bring you up on the air and turn you loose. We wind you up and turn you loose. Now, I would be okay if you wouldn't go full-scale jackass on me here, but if jackassery, #jackassery, does happen to occur, I understand. But, yeah, try not to go full scale. I don't want to go Jackass Con 1 or anything today, if that's all right. We'll leave that for another time. You guys call in, you come on, talk about whatever you want. It's anything goes at 239-1070. Mark and Nick, maybe before we get to the bottom of the hour. Butler pregame show live from Philly. That is Butler and Villanova. Dogs with 2 consecutive losses. Seton Hall and DePaul get a tough Nova squad on the road coming up later on tonight in need of a win. Boilermakers in Illinois tonight. That's 7 o'clock, West Lafayette. And we talked to Rob Blackman a little bit earlier. Eddie Gill, Pacers TV. Drew Storn, who got signed by the Phillies today, joined us. Greg Rakestraw was also on hand. Podcast 1075thefan.com. 239-1070. Anything goes for about 20 minutes. Begins on line 2. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, John. It's the donk. And I don't want to be a jackass, but I am a jackass. So what I need you to do, I need you to tell your boy Miles to get his ass on the block. For the last 4 games, that man has only had 17 rebounds. Kevin Bowen's dirty ass has more rebounds than that. Man, what are we doing? And let me talk about Jeremy Lamb. What is he doing? He's ruining my predictions for 52 wins. John, help me. Help me.
Dog, thanks. Let me tell you this. If you want Miles in the block, you probably will have to tell that to Nate. You know, listen, I know what everybody thinks. He's not going out there and sitting in the corner because he wants to. It's just not happening. They're not going to draw it up in the huddle. He's going to go, I'm going to go out here and stand. Now, that would be me. I would love to go out there and stand. For me, going out there and standing would be great. That's not what he's drawing up. And listen, I'm not anti-Nate either. I think Nate's done a great job, but that's how they're working things. It is. Thank you, Donk. Line 3 is anything goes at 239-1070. Go ahead. Who's this?
This is Paul.
Paul, go ahead.
Well, long-time listener. Simple question. Canadian high schools, do they play Canadian football or American football? Thanks.
Thank you. I'm assuming they play Canadian football in Canada, don't they? I don't know.
What a question.
I don't know. Do they?
I'd assume, yeah, Canadian football.
Why wouldn't you? Why would you pay American football rules in Canada?
That just kind of put my mind in a pretzel.
Thanks, Paul. I'm assuming they play under Canadian rules. BT. Donk just got called out by BT. Yeah, it is tough. Line 4. is at 239-1070. This is Anything Goes. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, it's Mike, John. How are you?
I'm great. Go ahead. Thank you.
Hey, one question here. It's kind of funny. Do you plan on changing your intro for the show at some point in time, if and perhaps Vinatieri is ever released, and is not given credit for a 57-yard preseason field goal by our good friend Mr. Taylor?
You bring up a great point here. This is serious. You bring up a great point. Do you think Kyle and I should just change up the intro tomorrow?
Leave Walton.
What do you think? Do you think we should change it tomorrow? Because we've thought about it. We've thought about it, and we just haven't done it yet. But yes, you are right. But should we do it tomorrow?
I say leave Walton on there for sure.
Well, Walton's definitely got to stay. I mean, that's state of the art right there. But yeah, the Adam Vinatieri thing. I think Sabonis with the dunk can stay, but the Vinatieri thing probably has to go. We were thinking about getting some kind of holy my from Matt Taylor maybe mixed in there, something like that.
That's his Jack Buck, right? Yeah, so I like that. Hey, one other thing, and this is pretty abstract, and NBA trades are impossible. But would you consider trading Kevin Love for Turner? And I think it's a good fit. I think we have cap room. I think it's a good fit for us. I think you definitely get better rebounding and better perimeter shooting. You get worse defense. You got to take in some money probably.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was going to get to. First, you'd have to take in money. Listen, it depends on what you hear, and I know that he's apologized, but he's acted like a jackass over there.
No doubt.
I mean, I know for the most part it's been Tristan Thompson, but he's been he kind of fell on the sword, and I know he's kind of sick and tired of it. And could he put up numbers? He still could. He's not what he used to be. But listen, until Vic gets back, I probably wouldn't do too much with this squad at all. And this has got nothing to do with me and talking up Miles. It has everything to do with seeing how this team goes, once its all-star gets back. I don't think you've seen enough to know to make deals like that right now. I just don't think you do.
And you never know if Thompson's going to smash him on the derriere, and anyway, so that's probably good thought. So I get it.
Hey, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. But yes, the Open, I think. What do you think, Kyle? That needs to be changed. Can we do that tomorrow? Would I have to come in early?
I don't know if there's some moving parts. I don't know if we'll be able to do it tomorrow, but we should be able to do it.
Yeah, we've thought about that too. We've got to keep the Walton. Oh, there's Cam out there. Hey, Cam. We got to keep the Walton, and I think we need to add Matt Taylor saying "Holy my," and we got Denary rocking the Sabonis dunk. I like that. Hey, Brad, are you running Butler and Villanova tonight? Brad Huber's in here right now. Line 5's Anything Goes at 239-1070. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hey, John, just to address your previous question, what about the Marlon Mack, interception in the Super Bowl? Just to kick one in there from old time's sake. That's not why I called. Brady to the Colts. Is anybody going to want to do that? Listen, if you went to Brady, John, and you said, we're going to spend our first round on a wide receiver, our second round on a tight end, our third pick on the second round on a right guard. Hey, by the way, the $91 million that we don't use on you, we're going to shore up our defense. What do you think about that?
So are you advocating the Colts signing Tom Brady? Is that what you were doing? I missed that. I'm sorry.
I would have to shoot myself if that happened, but I'm saying any good quarterback, be it Tom Brady, be it Phillip Rivers, be it, God forbid, Teddy Bridgewater, who could turn down that if our GM, I'm sorry, you know what I'm talking about. Or who could turn that down as a quarterback if that was the promise? This is how we're going to draft. This is how we're going to address our team.
Yeah, and thanks for the call. I appreciate it. And here's my thought regarding the Colts quarterback position. And I don't mind talking about it. And that's why I brought up to Greg Rakestraw last hour. I said, you got Chris Ballard and company here. You got 3 years under your belt, and you've been outside the postseason for 2 of them. And then a lot of people now, because they're discouraged out of this past year, are looking at last year as, hey, you caught a really nice time in a schedule to take off, i.e., what happened a year ago might be a little bit more fool's gold than it is absolutely real. I've been hearing a lot of that argument. So you bring in a better quarterback would seem like a logical move if we weren't talking about this organization. I don't feel that they believe they're in the spot organizationally that you do. I know that they want to win right now, but I just don't think that they have any thought whatsoever of going out after a veteran quarterback. Are they going to look? Assuredly, they will. I just don't think at the end of it all that's going to be their thought. And we'll see if how I believe it's going to go, if it affects the level of interest that Colts fans have in this team going into the season of 2020. And mindful of my scenario has them drafting a quarterback, a college quarterback. It also depends on who that might be. I just can't sit here and tell you that I think that they're realistically going to have thoughts on drafting a Brady or, going to put money down on Bridgewater or what's been brought, Phillip Rivers has been brought up. I mean, just the myriad of free agent signal callers out there. I can't think that they're going to do that. But, I mean, listen, I think that the situation they're in is a little bit, you better start winning now than maybe what they even believe, because I hear this from fans every day. I hear this from you every day. And this is not just the same dude calling over and over again. We're talking about Colts fans that are going, hey, 2 out of 3 years, everybody made the general manager out to be a genius, and 2 out of the last 3 years, they've been outside the postseason. 2 years ago, you understood it. And you were maybe willing to understand it because of the situation that happened 2 weeks prior to the start of the season, but less understanding about it considering the start this team got and then how it faded with injuries, no doubt about it. But a lot of other spots faded as well that would be more concerning. Like, I'd be more concerned about how the defense played later in the season than I would about anything else. I mean, how real is that outside of a couple of really good players? That's concerning. Thank you, though, for the call. Appreciate it. Back to line one. Anything goes at 239-1070. Go ahead. You're on the air. Hey, turn me down to the background. What'd you think?
Hey, John. How you doing, man?
Great. Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to, first off, give you a shout-out for that shirt again. Throwback when MTV used to be good and show videos and the music was rocking.
I love MTV. I watched classic MTV. I watched it today. I saw, what did I see videos of? I saw Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart. I saw Voices Carry by Till Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
I saw a number of videos this morning on classic MTV. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, I'm with you on with Miles Turner. Stick with the big man. No hate here for him. Like seeing him shoot those threes when he's knocking them down. We need him for a shot blocker. And then since you've been going old school with Marcia Broda and talking about grit today, I wanted to just throw back a little bit. 94-95 championship when Marcia Broda told Captain Comeback Jimmy Harbaugh there to let her rip, and it all got lit up from there. And then about your thing on conspiracy theories, either way. That whole Pittsburgh game, the AFC Championship there, that was conspiracy. They wanted to throw back a Cowboys-Steelers game there, and no matter what, when Cordell Stewart, that pass, he was stepped out of bounds and caught that touchdown. We got screwed on that one. And no matter what, I think the Colts would have gave the Cowboys a better game that year. We may not have won, but we would have gave them a better game.
And you have to realize, no matter you're talking Three Rivers or Heinz Field, you're probably going to get some kind of screw job in Pittsburgh. At least it always feels that way.
You're right, buddy. I just wanted to bring that one back since you was going throwback. I know Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a great year. And that was the lightning in the bottle year right there. I mean, late in the year you found something, whether it was Harbaugh or Zach Crockett or a resilient defense. I mean, you found a lot of things that year that made it fun. That was really that was our first taste of winning postseason enjoyable football around here, man. That's why it's so memorable. Yeah.
Good call. All right, you keep up the good work, man.
Thank you. Later. I appreciate it. Yeah, he's watching on YouTube. I got my MTV throwback shirt on. I do. I watch MTV Classic a lot. I don't mind just to sit there and let her roll. Like classic 120 minutes. Yo MTV Raps, without a doubt. Hey, the thing about he brought up regarding the Pacers and Miles, listen, I think at some point over the summer, there's going to be some shopping done. That's my thought. My thought on it right now is you're going to get your all-star back coming up here on the 29th. You got to see what you have with all this thing together. I mean, even last night's disappointing loss in Utah doesn't take away that, this team is in a really nice spot to see how their guy looks upon his return. I'm just not doing anything right now. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the offseason, though. And, in fact, I probably would expect it. I'd be surprised if there's not some shopping done in the offseason. But as of right now, I don't see it. Line 2's Anything Goes at 239-1070. Go ahead. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, JMV. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I've been trying to get in. Mark Boyle's made a point of the uniforms being yellow and blue rather than blue and gold. And I always listen to Slick and you guys on the radio, and I happened to see TV the other night, and it is yellow. What happened to the gold?
I don't know. I don't know. I would call it still gold, but maybe it is more of a yellow. Is it blue and yellow now, Kyle? Kyle, you're a part of that broadcast. Is that what said, blue and yellow?
Yeah, that's what Mark calls it, blue and yellow. And I thought, but that's what he's calling it. But I think them playing 3 games in 4 nights, the travel just caught up with them.
Well, listen, and thank you for the call. That back-to-back, you go Denver to Utah, that's difficult. Sunday night to Monday. And I had said prior to this 5-gamer that if you win 2 games, I'd be satisfied with that. Some people kind of frowned on that. But I thought if you won 2 games, and that was factoring in Denver being a loss. So you got Denver. Last night was going to be a struggle. The only thing about last night that was discouraging to me was that they did not put up a fight. I mean, they got bent out of shape and got run out of the gym. That part sucked. At least you're competitive. And that was on a night when Utah wasn't that great. And Utah's been hot. They turned it over 20-plus times. They were far from great. Most of what we witnessed last night was just really bad, and I mean unexpectedly bad at that level basketball by the Pacers. Line 4's Anything Goes at 239-1070. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, this is Jay.
Go ahead.
Hey, JMV. I just want to say, man, first and foremost, anybody who calls in with sports advice that doesn't know to turn down their radio when they're on the call with the radio playing through their phone just really doesn't need to call in. Secondly, man, you've been a staple of my drive home for years, man. I just want to say you're doing a great job. I really appreciate it. Awesome job. If it just anything goes, I thought I'd call in and say thanks.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Last question.
Go ahead. I'm here.
What's that?
Go ahead. I'm here.
Last question. You versus 506-year-olds. Who would win?
What's that?
You versus 506-year-olds.
I don't know, man. 506-year-olds might pound me a little bit. You know what I mean?
All you get is a metal trash can.
Kind of seems like Braveheart or something right there. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Anyway, but
hey, that's very kind. The words are very kind. Thank you for calling.
Absolutely.
That's very nice. Normally I get you suck. That makes a dude feel good, right? I can't remember the last time somebody said I sounded good and they were glad I was here. That's nice. That makes me feel good. See, and that's the other thing, too. I mean, I love it. I love talking to you guys. But, listen, I get a lot of crap all the time, too. But it's all good. It comes with the territory. It does. I'm just not going to whine and cry about it. One of these days, I may end up doing what Seinfeld did. And, he went down and heckled his heckler, Toby, the woman that booed and hissed him. I may go down and say, hey, yeah, you want me fired? Like, there are a couple people that want me fired. I'm going to go down and have them fired. Hey, I think you should fire this guy because he's a really big jackass. Come on, man. How much longer we got here? A little over a minute. I got time here. Line 1's Anything Goes. You're on the air. Who's this?
This is Jim.
Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, I remember that game with Captain Comeback and the Colts. I was watching it at the Oakham Barrel. The greatness of the Oakham Barrel. And they had a guy in the defense named Big Play Ray
Buchanan.
He had like 6 interceptions returned back for big yards or touchdowns that year.
Big play, Ray Buchanan. Hey, thank you for the call. I got to run here. Big play, Ray Buchanan. I remember it, too, because we had an ass-deep snow around here. I was in Bloomington at the time, and I took my 89 Toyota Corolla at the time, and I did big-time donuts with Jimmy Steele and a couple of dudes when I worked at B97 in Bloomington in the driveway in the parking lot there. I mean, some great donuts. I mean, it was a big snow, too. Hey, you guys are great today. Hey, Brad Huber, you're really good, too, by the way. You make a better door than a window, though. Eddie Gill, Drew Storn, Rob Blackman, Greg Rakestraw. I normally screw that up, too. Kyle, great job out of you. Thank you, Sarah. McAllister's Crawfordsville Road Speedway. Go by and ask for Sarah. Tell him that we sent her. We got Mark and Nick. Bulldog basketball. Other side next. Have a great night.
Text and whatever. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When clients come in, I think what they can feel is our passion.
That's Robert Violante at Diamonds Direct, talking not about price or selection or warranties, but about the total experience, the world-class treatment every guest receives from minute one.
I can't tell you how many clients either leave a 5-star Google review or call us and let us know that they shopped everywhere else, but when they walked into Diamonds Direct, the way that they were greeted, the way that they were treated, and how they were educated and made to feel part of the process was unlike anything else that they've experienced.
It's about respect for the customer, a genuine appreciation for the opportunity. It's about transparency and honesty and creating an environment where there's no stress, no pressure. In fact, at Diamonds Direct, we make it fun.
Oh my goodness, it's so much fun.